how fast they throw that ball. It's like 80 miles an hour. Cruising.
While there's still time. Fans, if the Knights win tonight, everyone is going home with a free McDonald's fry. Get your coupon after the game. This season, the Knights and Tackle Material Handling are teaming up once again to support community outreach needs. For every stolen base at home this season, the Knights and Tackle will each donate $25 to COI. And that total is doubled when the Knights win.
Qdoba Mexican Grill is a proud sponsor of your Corvallis Knights. For people who love food, located on Springfield in Corvallis.
Hey, Knights fans, did you miss out on the drone show Light Spectacular on June 20th? Well, lucky for you, we have another show later this summer. Drones take to the gusty sky once again in awe-inspiring Light Show Spectacular on Saturday, July 18th. Grab your tickets now at CorvallisLights.com.
Simply scan the QR code up on the video to get your favorite TNT Builders Party Deck concessions delivered right to your city. TNT Builders, just and experts in the Willamette Valley. 25 years. Visit them at TNTBuilders.com.
Hey kids, don't forget to run the bases after the game and get player autographs, courtesy of Old Spaghetti Factory. Once the game is over, access the field with the TNT Builders Party Deck down the third baseline. Tonight's game is sponsored by Oregon State Credit Union.
Where are you going?
On behalf of Oregon State Credit Union, thank you for joining us tonight. As we celebrate the great day on our nation's 250th birthday, OSCU is grateful for their member owners, employees, and families who help strengthen our community every day. Enjoy the game and enjoy the fireworks. Go Knights!
Impact on your tomorrow. That's why financial education is so important. It helps you understand the impact of your choices, what options you have, and how to plan for the years to come.
last time we were here, when we did the tie-dye, became a Zane and them. We were over there. Next to that.
Hi again, everybody, from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis, along with Knight Uretsky, Springfield Drifters Assistant General Manager Jasmine Williams, Everett Bartee, Brian Thomas, Brendan Brucker. A whole crew tonight because it is our first opportunity ever to deliver unto you the West Coast League Game of the Week, and we've got a good show coming up. In fact, we're going to get started in just a moment with last night's 3 innings of perfect baseball relief pitcher Arlo Pendleton, one of the newest Knights, 6 strikeouts, 9 batters up, 9 batters down. The pride of Petaluma and Cal Poly San Luis Obispo joins me, both an audio and visual experience coming up. Thanks for joining us here. And then Oregon State head baseball coach Mitch Canham to discuss a number of things. So without further ado, on this fireworks night, beautiful evening for baseball, a full house expected, fireworks after the game, game 1 of the 3-game series, the Knights and Drifters, and game 1 for both of the second half. Excited about a clean slate to begin half number 2. We'll come back with Arlo Pendleton and Mitch Canham ahead of the first pitch. The Knights and Drifters on the 3rd of July fireworks night in Corvallis. Back after this 2-minute break on the West Coast League Game of the Week.
Summer ball just, it has that romantic kind of energy. The sun's out, you get to really enjoy your summer. You're still playing baseball, something you love, but at the same time, you get those precious off days. You get to go out and hang out with your boys, and it's cool. It's really unique because you're playing with guys all over America who you would never have an opportunity to play with, but you create these really long forming friendships that, I still talk to those guys. The people that you meet is amazing, the host families that you have. We had something really special, man. It was baseball at its purest, and not only did we all love the game, we love each other, and we were playing just to play another game. It wasn't we have to win the series. It was just like we just want to play another game with each other. I played for the Corvallis Knights, home field of the Beavers, where I went to school at Oregon State. I knew a lot of guys that played there before. Nick Madrigal. I played with Adley, Zach Taylor. Playing for the Knights felt like an honor. The West Coast League is a great place to play some ball. I mean, you got some premier pitchers out there. I thought the quality of pitchers in the West Coast League was just as good as our college season. I think there's some leagues where it's just like get your reps, get out of there, but like you're there to win every single game. The coaches care, the fans care. Like it's a real fun environment, but competitive at the same time. Summer ball is just its own kind of beast. There's people who are just Corvallis Knights fans. Like, I tell them, like, oh, excited for the Oregon State season, and, they really couldn't care less. They're all about the Corvallis Knights season, and we had a winning tradition up to that point, so they expected us to win. They have fans love their baseball. They're knowledgeable as well. We had a bunch of kids there. That was always a bunch of fun. It was definitely a really cool experience.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome back to the West Coast League pregame show ahead of the Corvallis Knights and the Springfield Drifters Game 1 on this beautiful 3rd of July. A gorgeous day in the Mid-Willamette Valley, 81 degrees, a great night, full house ballpark with fireworks afterwards. And the Corvallis Knights as a club hoping to provide some offensive fireworks. They've been a little lacking the last couple of days, but not the pitching, which has been absolutely brilliant of late for the Knights. And it's an honor for me to welcome to our pregame show a guy that was dealing last night, Arlo Pendleton, out of Petaluma, California, and getting ready for his second year at a great program at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Arlo, welcome. Welcome to Corvallis.
Thank you for having me.
And a great job last night. Let's start right there before we kind of get your backstory. Petaluma, I know it from American Graffiti, great movie, 1962, George Lucas. Don't know much about Petaluma beyond that, but tell us a little bit about growing up there and getting to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo out of Petaluma. Then we'll come back to your outing last night.
Absolutely. Well, Petaluma, it's a big baseball town. I grew up watching the Petaluma National Little League team. We're in the College World Series. They ended up being second in the nation when it was all said and done. So that was pretty fun watching. I was a little kid when that was happening, so I'd watch it up on the TV, and that kind of got my love for the game going. And kind of after that, there's just a lot of good baseball people in that area and a lot of great coaches that I've had throughout the years. And then leading through up till I ended up going to Petaluma High and made some connections to Cal Poly through Petaluma High and through coaches outside of it, and really just went down to SLO, talked to my coach Moyer, pitching coach at Cal Poly, and just really loved the spot and loved everything that he was about, and committed pretty soon after that.
San Luis Obispo, a beautiful town and campus and tremendous coach in Larry Lee, and you guys had a big year. What was it like to be part of the year that you had and going to LA and winning the LA Regional, kind of shocking the college baseball world? Maybe not yourselves, but what was that experience like?
It was awesome. I mean, it was just really fun to be part of that group, and we just had a really great sort of team chemistry. I feel like for a mid-major to go that far, you have to really have some sort of spark, and even just I wasn't pitching too much, but just being there and like being a part of that team and getting to support my guys there was honestly an honor. It was really fun. Well,
between what you did and what St. Mary's did to UCLA, it's one of the great college baseball stories of the year. So congratulations on that and going to a Super Bowl will probably a little bit the same, some of it. Okay, that's 1973, so I guess people still like to cruise the gut in Petaluma. It's a great film. Arlo, it is wonderful to have you with the Knights. It was so fun to watch you pitch last night. Looking forward to big things the rest of the summer and in your second year with Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for being here. Thanks. That's Arlo Pendleton. Oregon State head coach Mitch Canham is coming up next as our West Coast League pregame show for the game of the week. The Knights and Drifters. Coach Canham coming up next. We continue on our West Coast League Game of the Week pregame show. I'm honored to be joined by Oregon State head baseball coach Mitch Canham. Mitch, there are a million things to talk about with you, including the image behind us of the national championship trophy. I think your hands are helping to hoist that 2006 national championship. A beautiful sight, a beautiful memory. But you just keep building new ones here in this program. Some great news recently we'll talk about. with regard to your program, to the Corvallis Knights. Thanks for being here. How are you, Mitch?
Thanks, Mike. Everything's great. Running around quite a bit this summer already, and one day I get to be home. Of course, the missus is going to put me to work, so doing some chores around the house and neighbors, but we've been remodeling for the last 6 months, so kind of super fun right now, a lot of sleep, but it's been really good. Checking in with our guys out across the summer, making sure that they're in a good space and that they're continuing to work forward. Onboarding a new pitching coach right now, Andrew Moore, who is a Beaver legend, and already him just being here and getting to meet his 3 little kids, and haven't met the 4th on the way here this month. But that's exciting news, just having him here and having him get to just get his feet wet with our current roster and our incoming guys as well.
Andrew is one of my favorite all-time people within the Oregon State family. I've called him a favorite son over all these years. I just love the guy. For you, when you went out in charge to find the best possible person for the position, did he rise pretty quickly in that process?
You know, so many candidates, I'd say across the country, but really in other countries as well, wanting to be a part of this Beaver family. And so it was exciting. I don't necessarily love doing the interviews, but I always learn a lot from them. When you're interviewing a whole bunch of other people, you know, they're sharing strengths, they're sharing vision, and so sometimes you can take little snippets of that for yourself and for the program. But one thing that I really enjoyed is when we had our call with him, and I really wanted to incorporate the whole staff on it. There was one thing, we got off the call and everyone goes, wow, that guy can make each and every one of us better. And that was one of the things we thought about prior to the interview process. Whoever we bring in, is he going to make each and every person here, our coaches and our student athletes, better? And that was one thing that we really walked away with. This guy knows what it means to be here and fight for this place. And he has a huge heart, cares about family, extremely loyal. And I really, like, we got off the call with him and everyone sat back and goes, pretty stinking good. And so it spurred to continual conversations, which landed him here.
That is great to hear. We're coming to you with this great trophy in the background, the Jacoby Ellsbury Clubhouse with head coach Mitch Canham. Last couple of things, Mitch. The relationship between the Corvallis Knights, I got the Knights, you got the Beavers, we're all in it together. Tell me a little bit about the recent announcement of the $15 million anonymous gift involving both programs in a very important way.
Well, this relationship was before I came back as a coach. Coach Casey and Siegs and the Knights and the Beavs just always seem synonymous. And this community, to have baseball around throughout the summer, and myself and my wife and kids coming to the games, the rest of the coaches, our players getting to play here, incomers and current student athletes playing here, and watching guys from across the country come in and play for a phenomenal coach in Brooke. The way that they run this thing and the way that we run ours, there's so many things that are strong and similar, that how we treat people, how we work on developing, we care about our community. And, you know, on a weekend like this where it's, there's going to be fireworks, there's going to be baseball, there's going to be hot dogs and sodas and people enjoying each other's company. It's been such a strong relationship. And this gift really just highlights that continuation of our partnership, and creating a better Oregon State, a better Corvallis community, a better Lynn Benton County, a better state of Oregon, and really more pride for the West Coast baseball and doing the right thing for people. One thing that really spurs to me when we talk about a gift like this is philanthropy in itself. And when people are so generous and that they see value when people are doing the right things, what Dan Siegel is doing, I mean, the fact that I get to tune in even when I'm not around, I get to listen to you and be one of those many that are listening to the games. You know, it's just, I think people, you said it was an honor for you to be here with me, which I think is so small compared to the honor we all have of being around you. But it's just something that should really spur excitement with a lot of people, because they're leading by example on providing this kind of gift, and just shows the kind of heart that people have out there and encourages us to do the same.
We look so forward to seeing how that's going to look with respect to the new bleachers and increased seating opportunities and clubhouse facilities and offices for the Knights. It's such a beautiful marriage, and we're excited to see that all come together in the next couple of years. Last thing, and that is just one ball player, if you could maybe give us a thought, who's going to be playing for the Corvallis Knights and the Beavers. You had a hole at second base with the great A.J. Singer moving on. Tell us about Diego Cruz, if you would, and fans are going to get a chance to see him in this ballpark this summer.
He's got just a bubble of joy around him that spreads, and it was something you could see when he's playing, just not from film, but then having him on campus and interact with our guys and our coaching staff, even just walking around campus. He moves with that joy, and it's infectious. How he interacted with my daughter when we're walking through Dixon to go grab a smoothie, and just knowing her name, remembering it, holding the door open for her and for other people as they're coming in and out, very respectful. You know, I always lean towards the person first. And as an athlete, this guy, you know, he ain't afraid to run. He can move. He's typically playing second base, but he's got phenomenal hands, phenomenal feet. He even said, "You need me to play center field? I'll play center field. I'll do whatever it takes to help the Beavs win."
To fade a little bit before the conversation with Mitch Canham was over with, but we got the gist of it as we get underway in the West Coast League Game of the Week. Our thanks to Arlo Pendleton and Mitch for joining us. Cooper Mullins steps in against Knights right-hander Bryce Hill, and we are underway. The first pitch to Cooper, missing for ball one. Bryce, the incoming freshman to Stanford, comes back, swung out and missed, 1-1 the count. Underway as a huge crowd, a sellout crowd, continues to make its way into Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 78 degrees as we speak, with a fireworks show to follow, presented by Oregon State Credit Union. A great night to be at the ballpark. Thanks for joining us. The pitch to Mullins, swung out and missed. The 1-2 fastball, swung out and missed again. Strike three. Cooper Mullins, the leadoff hitter for the Drifters, leads off, strikes out. A young man out of Marist High School in Eugene, had a memorable spring this past year at Michigan. Redshirted in 25, started 19 games for the Wolverines this year, and had an unforgettable moment, a walk-off hit against Oregon in Ann Arbor. I don't know if Papa Rob was there or not, but what a moment for Cooper. Tristan Jennings to the plate. First ball swinging, lofts a fly ball into left field in front of Knights left fielder Ethan Porter. It drops for a base hit. Tristan Jennings going after Bryce Hill's first pitch after the strikeout that opened the ball game. Jennings is aboard, and Johnny Elliott will be the batter, the designated hitter. In fact, let's take a look at Coach Lyle's lineup. Coach Lyle calls the offense within the Drifters dugout on the first base side on this warm, slightly breezy, gorgeous night here in Corvallis. Mullins struck out. He's the second baseman. Jennings, a base hit to left. Tristan playing left field, and now Johnny Elliott in the three-hole. The DH takes a breaking ball from Bryce outside. Colton Perez, the cleanup hitter, on deck at first base. Preston Armstrong batting fifth and catching. Peyton Tyner hitting sixth and right. Hill to the plate, swung on and fouled back. Bryce evens the count at 1-1. Melosi Malaafa Alferos batting seventh at shortstop. Jacob Villalpando hitting eighth at third base. Karsten Hansen batting ninth in center, and Caden Harris on the mound. Jennings held on at first by Trey Swigert, and he goes. He got a good jump. The pitch is high and inside, and it hit the Knights catcher, Carter Stewart, and he's in a lot of pain after it first hit the batter, Johnny Elliott. So Elliott got hit, but it was Carter Stewart that took the brunt of it. And down to second base goes Tristan Jennings. He would have had the bag stolen. He had a good jump on Bryce Hill. Johnny Elliott hit by the pitch. Carter Stewart in the tough guy spot. There's no question that anybody that dons the tools of ignorance and does so night after night after night is tough by definition, the position that he and all catchers play. And he settles back into the crouch, does Carter Stewart, with Colton Perez at the plate. 2 on, 1 out. Out of the stretch works Bryce Hill, and the pitch missing way outside to Colton. Ball one, 1-0. Both teams viewing this 3rd of July ball game at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field as a true fresh start. Both teams with the records wiped clean, 0-0 for both clubs. You can take the 9-18 for the Drifters and the Knights 13-14 and say, no, not really. Here we are. We're 0-0 starting afresh. Bryce Hill delivers a strike, and the count 1-1. It's been a tough go for the Drifters, who come in at 9-18, concluding the first half. But to get to 9-18, they swept a series. Coming into this three-game set in the midweek against Marion down at the Hamlin Sports Complex. Their first series win of the year was a sweep, and it got them to 9-18. The pitch to Colton Perez swung out and missed, and the count 1-2. Tristan Jennings at second, Johnny Elliott at first. One out, no score, just getting underway. Bryce to the plate, fastball swung out and missed. Strike three, 2 down. Preston Armstrong, the catcher, will be the hitter. With 2 on and 2 out in the top of the first inning. For the Knights defensively, Bryce Hill and Carter Stewart, the battery. Trey Swigert at first, Tate Hammond at second, Joey Morosco at short, Ryan Severns at third, Ethan Porter in left, Max Medina in center, Zane Garvey in right. First pitch from Bryce misses down, ball 1-0. Thomas Glenn, the home plate umpire this evening. Michael Gray on the bases. Dominic Graziano, a birthday boy, Knight Uretsky tells me. Dominic coaching at third. Not sure who's at first or who's on first. It's always been a good question in the game of baseball, and I will answer as, I think Lou often did. Who's on first? I don't know. No, he's third. Somebody's on first, the first base coach, and we'll let Abbott and Costello figure it out. The pitch to Armstrong, a strike, and the count 1-1. 2 on, 2 down, top of the first inning. No score. And in terms of a brilliant bit of writing and a comedic routine, has there been anything much better than that in the history of comedy? The who's on first routine and the timing of Abbott and Costello, unbelievable. 2 balls and a strike to Preston Armstrong. Top of the first, under the bright sunlight, the right-hander Bryce Hill kicks and comes to the plate, fouled straight back. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 on and 2 out. The Knights and Drifters beginning a 3-game series with the big fanfare tonight, the fireworks following, presented by Oregon State Credit Union. Tomorrow, the 250th birthday for our great nation, a 6:35 game, 5:05 here on Sunday. Bryce Hill trying to get through a little trouble, delivers a 2-2 pitch, hit foul to our right. It will fall short of Urchin Alley and actually land in the back row of bleachers to my right. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Preston Armstrong. Looking for a clutch hit. It's been, 9-18. A lot of tough luck along the way. 7 rubber games and 0-7 in them. Breaking ball misses inside, ball 3, 3-2. Preston is trying to get things going this summer, playing in his 8th game. He's just 1 for 13, but he's worked the count full to 3-2, which means Tristan Jennings will take off from second, Johnny Elliott from first. 2 down, no score, 3-2 to Preston Armstrong. Bryce Hill set. The right-hander delivers. Fastball swung out and missed. Strike 3 to retire the side. And Bryce Hill, through a little bit of difficulty, strikes out the side. And down go the Drifters in the top of the first. No runs, a hit, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Springfield nothing. The Knights coming up back in 90 on the West Coast League Game of the Week.
Rolling with the crew for good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Pope's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
I have access to banking services that are helping me build my financial future.
I did things like free checking that's actually free, and annual fee or balance transfer.
Best of all, Oregon State Credit Union has great loan rates and fewer fees. So more of my money stays. Do more with your money. Join Oregon State Credit Union today.
Bottom of the first inning on the WCL Game of the Week. Mike Parker with Net Uretsky. And for the Corvallis Knights, the starting lineup looks this way. Against Drifters, right-hander Caden Harris. Leading off in center field, Max Medina. Joey Morosco in the two-hole at short. Maverick Russell batting third, the designated hitter. Caden Harris to the plate. And the right-hander's first pitch misses high and inside. No score. Bottom of the first inning, Caden 1-2, making his 8th appearance. Medina hits a fly ball to straightaway center field. Karsten Hansen drifts over a couple of steps and makes the catch. One center fielder flies out to the other, one gone. Joey Morosco to the plate. Caden at 1-2, making his 4th start. He's worked 21 2/3 innings, allowed 32 hits. Pretty good control, walked only 9, struck out 20. Joey Morosco stepping in for the Knights. No score in the bottom of the first inning. Joey at 233 with 11 runs batted in. The first pitch from Caden misses, down and away, ball 1. Caden, a local kid. Milwaukee High School up the road, and went to and goes to a school I had never heard of until today. In writing down his university on my note chart, I had to do a double take and wondered if it was a typo, but he is from Mount Marty University, private liberal arts school in Yankton, South Dakota. And Harris with a 1-1 pitch to Joey Morosco drops a breaking ball in for strike 2. 1-2 the count. I was glad to learn something new today. In the Benedictine tradition, a private liberal arts school in South Dakota. Joey Morosco swings protectively and taps one foul into the bleacher area of the Omaha room down the line. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The end of the interview with Mitch Canham, we had to fade it out a little bit at the end. Some technical difficulties. We didn't quite time everything out perfectly. The pitch to Morosco punched foul into the on-deck area of the Drifters. The count remains 1-2, 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the first. I had asked Mitch about Diego Cruz, who is coming to play not only for Oregon State, he'll join the ranks of the Beavers in the fall, but as I mentioned to Mitch near the end of the interview, it's nice to have another future Beaver who will begin his playing days in this ballpark with the Corvallis Knights. Think Quan, think Adley Rutschman, think Matt Boyd, think Travis Bazzana. The pitch to Morosco, a fly ball to right field, and now we can put Diego Cruz in that category. He will join the team next week. Morosco flies out to right, 2 down, nobody on. Maverick Russell, the batter. For the Drifters defensively, a battery of Caden Harris and Preston Armstrong, with Colton Perez at first, Cooper Mullins at second, Melosi Malaafa Alferos at short, Jacob Villapando at third, Tristan Jennings in left, Karsten Hansen in center, and Peyton Tyner in right. The first pitch to Maverick Russell in there for a strike. Maverick swinging a hot bat at 300 through 9 games. He takes the strike 1 pitch down and in. A 3-hit game last night for Maverick in the Knights' 2-1 loss to Boy, who did we play last night? It all blends together after a while. Ground ball to the right of the second baseman, Cooper Mullins. He goes and gets it and throws to first, and the Knights are retired in order. Of course, it was the Portland Pickles who beat the Knights 2 nights in a row by a final score of 2-1. And I feel like I got lost a little bit with Jackson Brown in the loadout. Is it Chicago or Detroit? Well, no, it's Portland and now Springfield. Great song, by the way. We go to the second. No score after 1. The Drifters and the Corvallis Knights. Back in '90 on the WCL Game of the Week.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
The standings that you see, they are true. They can't be rewritten. But for the Knights and Drifters, you can scratch out, as I mentioned earlier, 9-18 for the Drifters, 13-14 for Corvallis. They are 0-0 beginning tonight's game 1 of this 3-game series. Bryce Hill going to work on Peyton Tyner. First pitch to Peyton misses for ball 1. Bryce struck out the side last inning, gave up a base hit and hit a batter. Now working on Peyton Tyner, who played for the Marion Berries last year. Swings at the 2-0 pitch, doesn't get it. The count 2-1. Peyton, left-handed hitter, 5'8", 165, went to Marist, as did Cooper Mullins. And now playing at Lane Community College. He swings and strokes one into right center field, base hit. Max Medina gets the ball back in, the Knights center fielder. Second hit for the Springfield Drifters, this in the form of a leadoff single. And Melosi Malaafa Alferos, the shortstop, will come to the plate.
The shortstop, number 17,
Melosi played at Oregon this past spring. Got into 8 games, went 1 for 5. And a cousin of a guy who played very well for the Knights last year, Antonio Castro, now at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. The pitch on the way, no bunt put on. Coach Lyle calls the offense. Dominic Graziano coaching at third, Hunter Meyer coaching at first. The pitch to Melosi misses outside, ball 1. Melosi, left-handed hitter at the plate from Eva Beach, Hawaii. Peyton Turner, the runner at first. Bryce Hill bounces his 1-0 pitch and is down in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Jacob Villapando on deck. Big crowd, beautiful sight to see. A lot of families, youngsters coming in for baseball and fireworks. It's a pretty good tradition. The 2-0 pitch lifted foul towards Waldo Hall, off to the left and out of play. And mentioning Waldo in terms of tradition, Waldo Hall went up in the year of our Lord 1907, and home plate was placed in the spot that it still occupies right here in the same year, 1907. 2 balls and 1 strike, no score, top of the second. Bryce Hill turns to try to pick off Peyton Tyner and throws the ball into foul territory away from Trey Swigert. Swigert picks up the ball and throws it into left field where it's backed up by Ethan Porter. And so an errant pickoff attempt on the part of Bryce Hill. And the Knights have done the Drifters' work for them in terms of a leadoff single, get him on, get him over. Well, the Knights conspire to get him over with the errant pickoff attempt by Bryce. And now Melosi Mala'afa-Alferos with a chance to hit a ball on the ground, even for an out, and get Tyner moved to third. No score in the second. Bryce delivers a bunt on the 2-1 pitch, foul. So getting the runner to second base, Coach Lyle suddenly felt like, okay, well, let's make sure we get that run. Asking Melosi to bunt, and now the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Crowd of upwards of 3,000 plus still making their way in, anticipating the big fireworks show thereafter. Bryce Hill's 2-2 pitch, fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. Bryce with 4 strikeouts, in fact all 4 outs via the K, and Jacob Villapando the batter. Jacob out of Bakersfield and Fresno City College standing in with Peyton Tyner at second base. No score in the second. Bryce Hill to the plate, and his slider misses very high and inside, over the head, in fact, of the right-hand hitting Villapando. Jacob had 186 with 7 runs batted in through 20 games with the Drifters this summer. Springfield coming in at 9-18, but again, in their minds, they're 0-0. The same is true for the Knights as the second half gets underway this evening. Good fastball under the hands. Swung on and missed by Villapando. That evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. I don't see young Ben here tonight, Ben Crockett, but in his seats, Nick McWilliams, the outstanding basketball coach, Katie's dad, and Nick's mom, Diane, here to my left. So good to have Nick and Diane McWilliams in the ballpark tonight. Thanks for being here. The pitch swung on and missed by Villapando. 1-2 the count. Karsten Hansen on deck. No score. Peyton Tyner getting his lead from second. Bryce Hill to the plate. Fastball up. And that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Knights baseball brought to you by Hotel Corvallis. Give your friends and family the best stay in town at Hotel Corvallis in the heart of downtown. You can book at hotelcorvallis.com. Bryce to the plate. Breaking ball hits Jacob Villapando on the helmet. Fortunately, it was kind of a slow breaking ball that plunked off the top of the helmet of Villapando. Coach Lyle, though, taking nothing for granted, nor should he. I just went through an online course with respect to athlete safety and precautionary measures and what to do in the case of serious, even catastrophic injuries. It was important material, and anytime there's a blow to the head, and we had one in the form of a baseball hitting Villapando off the top of the helmet, even if I tried to minimize it by saying, well, it was a slow breaking ball, it shouldn't. Coach Lyle is doing his due diligence, making sure that Villapando is all right and is dialoguing with Jacob. That was about a 3.5 to 4 hour online course, as I said, very important. But in the end, I did feel for one moment, and probably the only thing ever in common with the great Sac and Fox Indian, and as we come up on our 250th anniversary, I still believe Jim Thorpe is the greatest athlete in our country in 250 years. But the film about him, directed by Michael Curtiz of Casablanca fame, has one of my favorite images ever in a sports movie with respect to tedium when it comes to lessons and books. Bryce Hill to the plate, working on Karsten Hansen. The fastball misses down and in, ball 1. Peyton Tyner at second, Jacob Villapando at first, 1 out. No score in the second, and Bo Kearns asking for time as he watches Bryce scuffle in each of the first 2 innings. Now, last inning, a base hit and a hit batter consecutively. but he'd gotten the leadoff man out and proceeded to strike out the next 2 hitters. Here in the second, a base hit, an errant pickoff attempt, a strikeout, a hit batter, just not quite in rhythm yet. Bo out to the mound, and the Knights will begin some activity in their bullpen. Jack Galanita heading down along with Nate Marshall. There is a scene when Lancaster playing Thorpe in Jim Thorpe All-American. Actually, one of those films that I loved as an 8-year-old and I will enjoy again soon as a 68-year-old. I've always liked Jim Thorpe All-American. But the scene where he's trying to study for exams at Carlisle Indian School in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and the narrator, Charles Bickford, as Pop Warner says, and after a while, Jim couldn't take it anymore, and there's this image of all these books tumbling out of bookshelves onto his head as he's laying in bed. And Pop Warner says, so Jim, for relief, took off, and the sheer joy of running gave him the release he needed. The 1-1 pitch punched foul down the left field line and out of play. The count 1-2 to Karsten Hansen. And so that, of course, is the wonderful scene where Jim in street clothes civilians goes running through, sprinting, and he's outrunning all of the Carlisle sprinters and track stars and comes out for track, and the rest is incredible athletic history for the great Jim Thorpe. But the sheer physical joy of running, that's one of the beautiful things ever said about that activity. The changeup from Bryce Hill just misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. I have 1-2 on my sheet, but now 2-1 the scoreboard shows, with Peyton Tyner at second, Jacob Villapando at first, 1 out. The pitch on the way is in there for a strike, and that confirms that it was 2-1 to even matters at 2-2. Phil Knight, in writing his Shoe Dog, said the very thing. He said, too, just running, and in the early to mid 60s, thinking about running as a great release and activity for people. He got an idea, and it worked out pretty well for him. The 2-2 pitch swung on and tapped foul at the plate. But after that 3.5, 4 hours of online importance, yet tedious. Tedious things can be important. When I finished, I closed the laptop and donned gear and went out 8. I didn't run, but I slow jogged my way back to peace. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 1 out. Fastball fouled back. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Karsten Hansen. Karsten out of Capitol High School in Olympia, Lower Columbia Community College, the NWAC champs. He was the NWAC West Region Player of the Year. En route to Marshall University, congratulations to him. Left-handed hitter awaiting Bryce Hill. The 2-2 pitch on the way, a ground ball to second. Tate Hammond goes to Morosco for 1, on to first, not in time. Good speed from Karsten Hansen down the line, and the ball hit not right at Hammond and not sharply enough for the double play to be turned, but the fielder's choice 4-6 once again gives Bryce Hill an opportunity to get out of the inning unscathed. Runners at the corners and 2 down. Cooper Mullins, the batter. Cooper struck out to open the game. Hansen looks as though he can run, and he's getting a decent lead at first. Mullins takes a fastball high and away, ball 1, 1-0. Cooper having a good summer, building off the nice spring he had with the Wolverines, starting the night at .316 with a homer and 15 runs batted in. First and third, 2 down, no score. Breaking ball bounces away from Carter Stewart. Not enough for the runner at third to come down. Peyton Turner holds, but Karsten Hansen into second on the wild pitch. And the count goes to 2-0 to Cooper. Well, what a thrill that must have been for Cooper. He had 2 really good ball games in that walk-off hit against Oregon. 2-0 fastball in there for a strike. One would think, and that was in early April in Big Ten play this past spring, one would think that Papa Rob might have been somewhat conflicted, but I don't think so. Not when your son's doing things like that, even though the baseball program of which he is the athletic director for, suffered. I'm sure he was thrilled for what Cooper did in a walk-off hit against Oregon back in April. He swings and misses here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. Second inning, no score. Bryce to the plate, fastball foul back. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cooper. Tristan Jennings on deck. Both hitter and pitcher now engulfed in shadow. It wasn't that way in the first inning. Breaking ball on the 2-2 pitch stayed up, and the count goes full to 3-2. Bryce's strikeouts, and he has 4 of them, have come on fastballs. We'll see if he challenges Mullins again here. Fastball hit foul toward the TNT Builders party deck down the left field line. The count remains 3-2 to Cooper. The Steve Prefontaine Classic, just thinking about the sheer joy of running and the glory of it all going on this weekend down the road. The 3-2 pitch, fastball taken, strike 3 called, and Bryce Hill does it again. He has been able to pitch himself in and out of trouble with a very impressive fastball. He has 5 strikeouts through 2. No runs, a hit, an error, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the second inning. It remains Springfield nothing, the Knights nothing, back in 90 on the WCL Game of the Week.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Knights, the left fielder from Oregon State University, number 27, Ethan Porter.
Bottom of the second inning, no score. Ethan Porter, Zane Garvey, and Ryan Severns coming up against the Drifters right-hander Caden Harris. Ethan in the 4-hole for the Knights. Looks at a breaking ball strike, 0-1 the count. For replacement glass, shower doors, or new vinyl windows in your home, call Smith Glass. Smith Glass is a leading residential and commercial glass service for the Mid-Valley and longtime partner of the Corvallis Knights. Smith Glass on the cutting edge since 1945. The strike 1 pitch, Ethan tries to check his swing, but went around in the judgment of base umpire Michael Gray. 0-2 to Ethan. Caden Harris to the plate, and the breaking ball misses down and away. Brooke Knight, 18th year head coach for the Knights, coaching at third as usual. Marcus Matias, as usual, over at first. The pitch to Porter, swung on and fouled back. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ethan, who's cooled off after a hot start. He's at 280 with 8 runs batted in. He swings and slashes one down the right field line. Foul, says the first base umpire, Michael Gray. Not foul by much. Marcus Matias, in fact, turns and looks at the base umpire. It was close. From up here, the angle was somewhat deceptive in that I thought it hit White a painted white line down the right field line, but no, said Michael Gray. So Porter still up there, 1-2, leading off the bottom of the second. Checks his swing at a breaking ball, down and away, 2-2 the count. Great to be with you tonight on the WCL Game of the Week. We'll have the pleasure of listening to the voice of the Drifters, Knight Uretsky, a little bit later. Porter swings and lifts a fly ball to right field. Peyton Tyner moves over and under to make the catch. One away, and Zane Garvey will be the batter. Knight will be joined during his couple of innings here this evening with Assistant General Manager of the Drifters, Jasmine Williams. I was delighted to hear from Commissioner Rob Nyer, who was here recently, about his experience earlier this year down at the Hamlin Sports Complex, the home of the Drifters in Springfield. Zane Garvey takes a strike and the count 0-1. Just to see the growth in the fan base and the ballpark experience. It's just, and I really believe that it will take deep root in that community, and it's beginning to be a really big hit in Springfield and surrounding areas, and that's great news, and Rob Nyer said it was very encouraging. Zane Garvey swings, and it's a fly ball to right field. Peyton Tyner is ready to take care of that one as well, and does. 2 down. Ryan Severns, the batter. We may have wiped the slate clean, but things haven't changed a great deal yet for the Knights. And that's one thing we talked about last night. The Knights with back-to-back 2-1 losses, just 1 earned run over their last 2 games. 0-1 to Ryan Severns, who swings and punches one into left field. Base hit. Tristan Jennings plays it on 3 hops. Ryan Severns a 2-out single. Ryan started the night at 227. But the Knights have not been swinging the bats well, and that's an understatement. The idea that just because you start a second half with an 0-0 record that suddenly you'd flip a switch and all would be well and the hits and runs would come fast and furiously. It hasn't quite been the case yet tonight. We'll see. Trey Swigert, the batter, a 2-out single for Severns. Trey takes low and in, ball 1, 1-0. Knight was telling me that for the Drifters this year, it has been a matter of not able to get everything together. The night when the hitters are really hot, the pitchers are giving up too many runs, or vice versa. There goes Severns. The pitch is low and inside. The throw from Preston Armstrong goes into center field. It's backed up by Karsten Hansen. Severns with the stolen base, and that is good news because that means Papay Material Handling and the Knights team up. $25 apiece from both Papay Material Handling and the Knights to help people in need in our community. Community Outreach, Inc. Our thanks to Papay Material Handling. Every stolen base, a $50 contribution to COI. 2-0 to Trey Swigert. Severns at second. No score, bottom of the second inning. Harris to the plate. Swigert, a high drive to deep center. Back goes Karsten Hansen, still drifting back. And about 385 to 390 away, he makes the catch. And there is that as well. You can hit a ball on the screws, high, deep, and far, but tough to get one out in this ballpark. We've only seen 1 home run by the Knights this season here. And that was by Ian Draper on Tuesday of this week. The Knights are gone, no runs, a hit, a man left. We go to the third, back in 90. The Knights and Drifters scoreless on the West Coast League Game of the Week.
With tonight's veteran of the game, is U.S. Army Sergeant.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Top of the third inning, no score. The Drifters and the Corvallis Knights. Tristan Jennings, Johnny Elliott, and Colton Perez, the scheduled hitters for Springfield against Knights right-hander Bryce Hill. Bryce has struck out 5 through 2. He's been in a little bit of trouble in each frame, but has kind of gone back to the old reliable whenever in a little bit in trouble. Fastballs that he's moving in and out and doing a nice job to get outs when he needs them with his bread and butter pitch. He starts Tristan Jennings with a fastball for a strike, 0-1 the count. Tristan a bloop single to left field in the first. Strike one slider misses, and it just looks tonight as though Bryce is having some difficulty with the secondary stuff. No score in the third, 1 ball and 1 strike to Tristan. Fastball swung on and missed. The count 1-2. Johnny Elliott on deck. The Drifters play at Hamlin Sports Complex, a joint venture from the Drifters, the Springfield School District, Bushnell University. The pitch on the way, a chopper foul towards first base coach Hunter Meyer. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's a great locale at the intersection of Pioneer Parkway and Centennial. Centennial becomes Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in Eugene, near Autzen and PK Park. Really a nice locale. If you get a chance to go down and see some Knights Drifters games in Springfield, we highly encourage you to do so. Here's an off-speed pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3, that Bryce Hill does land to get his 6th strikeout to open the third. Johnny Elliott, the designated hitter, the batter. Johnny hit by a pitch in the first inning. An interesting background for Johnny Elliott, in that he had a grandfather who might have played on the California Golden Bears' last Rose Bowl team. Johnny Elliott hits a ground ball wide of third. Ryan Severns fields and throws to first for the out. 2 down, and Colton Perez, the batter. Pappy Waldorf and the California Golden Bears, back when the Rose Bowl meant everything. Not just something, pretty much everything, right? Those days are long gone now. I know we live in the playoff and all that. Yeah, I know. We live in an era now that hasn't been particularly good for our world here, even though we're excited about a new Pac-12 era. I hope you understand when I say that. No disrespect to the new era we're heading into, but the time and the place and the beauty of the Rose Bowl. The first pitch missing to Colton Perez, ball 1, 1-0. And I think, if I'm reading the bio correctly, that John Elliott played football for Cal, Johnny's grandfather, between 1948 and 52, which would have put him in the Rose Bowl with Pappy Waldorf the last time Cal played in it. The 2-0 pitch swung on and missed, in the count 2-1 to Colton Perez, who struck out in the first. 2 outs, nobody on, and Johnny's dad, Kent, played lacrosse at Cal about 40 years later. The 2-1 pitch, a little low. Ball 3, 3-1. Bryce Hill has pitched in and out of some trouble in each of the first 2 innings. 2 quick outs here in the third, but behind to Perez, 3-1. and throws ball 4. So he just not, even though he's made some beautiful pitches, just not quite in a steady flow and rhythm, and issues a 2-out walk. He'll deal with Preston Armstrong, and my sense is this will probably be the last hitter that he'll face tonight. Armstrong struck out in the first inning, part of Big Bryce fanning the side. 6'5", 230-pounder comes to the plate and delivers a first pitch strike. 0-1 the count for a guy with what appears to be a near limitless sort of future, with apologies to some Joe named Bradley Cooper. The strike 1 pitch on the way, slider, check swing, tap, foul. The count, no balls and 2 strikes. The big right-hander Bryce Hill. The draft coming up now in about 11 days. We'll almost certainly hear his name called. He does have a pretty good fallback option. Stanford. No score, top of the third, a throw to first base. Back to the bag dives Colton Perez. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Big Bryce out of Greenwich Country Day in Connecticut. Delivers up and in, and the count goes to 1-2. No score in the third, a 2-out walk. Colton Perez held on by Trey Swigert. Ethan Porter standing in a bright patch of sunlight out in left. Fastball with good run comes back over the outside corner. Strike 3 called. 2 more strikeouts for Bryce Hill. He has 7 punch-outs through 3. A 2-out walk and nothing more on this 3rd of July fireworks extravaganza night. We go to the bottom of the third. It's still the Drifters nothing, the Knights nothing. Back in 90 on the West Coast League Game of the Week.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Poop's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
Another well-pitched game. We've seen several of those of late. Back-to-back 2-1 games between the Knights and Portland Pickles. Both won by the Pickles on Wednesday and Thursday. Tonight, no score as we go to the bottom of the third inning. Carter Stewart will lead things off against Drifters right-hander Caden Harris. Carter swings and misses. No balls and 1 strike. Carter's first at bat. The Knights with 1 base runner. Ryan Severns a 2-out single last inning. The strike 1 pitch off speed. Swung out and missed by Carter, and he's quickly in a hole. No balls and 2 strikes. Sellout crowd tonight anticipating the big fireworks show after the game. The strike 2 fastball high and away, ball 1. 1-2 to Carter Stewart. Tate Hammond on deck, back to the top of the order, and Max Medina here in the bottom of the third. Caden to the plate, and the breaking ball down and in. Ball 2, 2-2. Carter at 260. 10 runs batted in. Left-hand hitting catcher out of the University of Portland. Swings and fouls the 2-2 pitch back from Caden Harris. Two and two the count. Carter, left-handed hitter, very wide stance. Trying to light a spark for the Knights. They could use one. He takes a change up. Ball 3, 3-2. In the form of a leadoff hitter, perhaps. Trying to get on base any way, shape, or form. Brooke Knight, pretty lonely over in the third base box the last couple of days. Watches with the rest of us as the 3-2 pitch swung on and hit foul towards Waldo Hall. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Caden Harris reading Preston Armstrong, now delivers 3-2. Fastball just inside, ball 4. Preston Armstrong was ready to throw the ball around the horn and almost did a double take. Fortunately doesn't go into the Edgar Kennedy slow burn, but indeed it was a classic double take when he had to cease and desist from throwing the ball around the horn after Thomas Glenn did not raise his right arm. It was close. A leadoff walk to Carter Stewart. Tate Hammond perhaps up there to bunt. The Knights trying to get a lead. They had one Tuesday and won the ball game 5-0 over the Portland Pickles, and actually had won the series against Marion, and it looked like they were building up some momentum to end the first half, but again went quiet at the plate. Now Hammond does bunt. He gets the bunt down. Caden Harris comes off and throws to first in time. But the Knights off to a good start just in terms of executing the game. A leadoff walk, sacrifice bunt on the first pitch that Tate Hammond sees. One away, Max Medina, the hitter. The Knights' condition on offense has not been especially good. Critical might be a little too dramatic, but it has been it's been a paucity of runs here of late, and so tonight in the start of the second half they're hopeful to break through in a leadoff walk and a sacrifice bunt, giving a couple of Knights hitters a chance to give the Knights the early lead before this sellout crowd, which, while they're here for fireworks, yes, also hoping the home team can get it done. The strike 1 pitch to Medina taken for strike 2. I drop in a reference to the condition and dropping in and all of that in honor of Springfield's own, the late great Mickey Newberry. Just dropped in to see what condition my condition is in. A great song title. Ground ball wide of first and bat hop into right field, base hit. Rounding third, Carter is on his way to the plate is Stewart, and he will score. The Knights get a break in that the ball bounded high and over the outstretched mitt of Colton Perez and glove of Cooper Mullins into right field. Medina with the RBI single, and the Knights enjoy a 1-0 lead, taking advantage of the leadoff walk, and Joey Morosco will be the hitter. Well, if you dropped in now on the Knights' condition, it's improving. They get a run and an early lead. Joey Morosco at the plate, a throw to first, and Medina back. Mickey Newberry spent the last years of his life in Springfield, marrying Susan Pack, a Springfield native, a guy that Chris Christopherson said, quote, "I learned more about songwriting from Mickey Newberry than anybody else." Now that is true praise from Caesar, because Christopherson was a greater than Newberry is here type of writer. The pitch to Joey Morosco, foul back. 0-1 the count, 1-0 Knights. Bottom of the third inning, another throw to first, and Max Medina back to the bag. Max, 5 for 8 in stolen bases, just picked up his 11th run batted in. Only Trey Swigert has more with 12. Joey Morosco with 11 as he stands in, swings at the 0-1 pitch and fouls it straight back. 0-2 the count. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the third. Nice to see Susan Casey wandering through the Jack Riley concourse tonight. Her husband Pat, the legendary coach here with the Beavers, 3 national titles, has recently been working alongside Pat Murphy in the Milwaukee Brewers dugout. Pat is also back in town. I don't see him here at the ballpark, but he moves in stealthy ways. He could be here and nobody will ever see him. A throw to first, and again Medina back to the bag. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the third. Joey Morosco takes Caden Harris's strike 2 pitch a bit high and away. Ball 1, 1-2. Medina is a good runner, and I think Brooke might just want to keep pressing and try to put pressure on the Drifters. I wouldn't be surprised if Medina does look for a pitch to run on. The 1-2 pitch, and the Drifters certainly thinking along similar lines, pitch out. Medina isn't going anywhere, and the count even to Joey. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Maverick Russell on deck. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the third inning. Medina doesn't go. The 2-2 pitch, high and inside. Ball 3, 3-2. In terms of trying to bolster the offense, Diego Cruz will join the roster next week, a guy that Mitch Canham just said is absolutely a joy to watch play. Medina goes, the 3-2 pitch, foul back. It remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. We didn't get to hear the fullness of the interview with Mitch before the game today. One of the last things we talked about was the arrival of Diego Cruz as a Knight next week. But Mitch just said he plays the game with joy, everything he does, just spring in his step, just a joy to be around. He'll lend a spark, no doubt, to the Knights when he gets here next week, not only as a clubhouse guy and personality, but a good glove and bat as well, as the Knights try to get off to a strong start in the second half. Another throw to first, Max back again. He goes, the 3-2 pitch. Morosco swung at what would have been ball 4. The pitch was up, but he went after it. And Medina will head back to first. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Max. A leadoff walk to Carter Stewart, sacrificed to second by Tate Hammond. And a little springiness on the field turf here. The ball bounding into right, and the Knights have a run. There goes Medina, the 3-2 pitch. Down and away for ball 4. And speaking of sort of energy, ebullience, good to see Joey Morosco, after taking ball 4, turning toward his teammates in the Gary Baker dugout on the third base side and clapping his hands enthusiastically. Like, okay, let's go. Let's get this thing going. All of the Knights players know you come in and play for this team and organization. As Brooks Hatches said, the Knights director of communications, he doesn't think they've ever been under 500 this late in a year. 13-14 at the turn of the first half into the second half. And the guys, I know, take accountability for it. They want to get this thing going to the standards that the organization, the fans, and so on have come to expect. Maverick Russell, the batter. Maverick takes a strike, and the count 0-1. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the third inning. Maverick grounded out in his first at-bat. Biggest crowd of the year. Great to see the sellout gathering. The 1-0 strike 1 pitch to Maverick outside, and the count 1-1. The Fitzpatrick Party Patio full, the TNT Builders Party Deck full, and just about everywhere you look at this beautiful ballpark, Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Fans packed in, enjoying a 1-0 Knights lead and looking forward to the fireworks later. Caden Harris delivers off speed and low. Ball 2. 2-1 to Maverick Russell. Max Medina at second, Joey Morosco at first, 1 out. Russell, the left-hand hitter, awaits, swings and punches it foul off to the left and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dean Stiles handles the pitching for the Springfield Drifters. The coaching staff, a really good one. The Drifters in great hands. The young men coming to Springfield for development. Maverick Russell, a line drive right at the second baseman Cooper Mullins, who hauls it in, has no other play to make. Well struck, but an out, 2 down. Ethan Porter, who flied to right field in the second, coming up. Dean, a former pitching coach for Oregon, teamed up with Jeff Lyle in the Pioneer League in Ogden in professional baseball. Was at Lane Community College for a while, well-traveled, a lot of wisdom accrued through the years. No one throwing in the bullpen back of Caden Harris. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the third inning, 2 on and 2 out. Porter takes a breaking ball up and in, ball 1, 1-0. Zane Garvey on deck. Max Medina at second, Joey Morosco at first, 2 down. The 1-0 pitch, breaking ball lifted foul towards Urchin Alley to the right. It remains, or moves, I should say, to 1 ball and 1 strike. One nothing Knights, bottom of the third. The 1-1 pitch, fastball from Caden, high and inside, ball 2, 2-1. Max Medina getting his lead from second, Joey Morosco from first. Caden Harris ready, the 2-1 pitch. Porter a drive to right center field, moving back on the ball. Karsten Hansen and Peyton Tyner. And it's Hansen going back to make the catch in the gap to retire the side. Well, Bryce Hill does have some more work in him, evidently. He's heading back out to the mound, and he does so with a 1-0 lead. A run on a hit, no errors, 2 left. We go to the fourth. The Knights 1 and the Drifters 0. Back in 90 on the West Coast League Game of the Week.
You know the rules. Take each other out at second and run to the opposite base. Are we?
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Three innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Drifters, no runs, 2 hits, and no errors. The Knights breaking through, a run on 2 hits and an error. We go to the fourth. Coach Lyle was going out and informing the home plate umpire, Thomas Glynn, that he's using a pinch hitter here in the top of the 4th inning. Aiden Gebhard will hit for Peyton Tyner. Bryce Hill delivers, and the first pitch fastball swung on and missed by Aiden Gebhard. Out of Northwest Nazarene, an Oregonian from Redmond High School, has been at Lane and at Northern Colorado. He bunts foul and is quickly in a hole. No balls and 2 strikes, getting the at-bat to lead matters off for the Drifters in the top of the 4th, with the Knights leading 1-0. The strike 2 pitch on the way from Bryce. Fastball up on appeal. No swing, says Michael Gray. 1-2 the count. Bryce and Carter Stewart, the battery for the Knights. Trey Swigert at first. Tate Hammond at second. Joey Morosco at short. Ryan Severns at third. Ethan Porter in left. Max Medina in center. Zane Garvey in right. Fastball on the 1-2 pitch. Swung out and missed. Strike 3. 8 strikeouts for Bryce Hill. 1 away, and Melosi Malaafa Alferos coming up. Melosi struck out in his first at-bat. Melosi's father, Andre, played baseball at Sacramento State.
Now batting the shortstop, number 17, Melosi Malaafa.
First pitch swung on and fouled at the plate. No balls and 1 strike to Melosi. 1-0 Knights. Top of the 4th inning. Fastball sails up and away from Bryce Hill. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Knight Uretsky will be taking over for the 5th and 6th innings. The 1-1 pitch down and away. Always a pleasure to be around the young and talented broadcaster, working full-time for the Drifters now. Really happy for him, and I'm sure doing a tremendous job in the various roles that he occupies for the organization. The pitch to Melosi is stroked back up the middle into center field, base hit. Bryce Hill, for his overpowering stuff, has not gotten through an inning 1-2-3 yet. He gives up a 1-out single to Melosi Malaafa Alferos. And Knight comes from a very interesting background in terms of the entertainment world that he grew up knowing about and around. His father and grandfather both worked at CBS television. His father, Stosh, edited The Price is Right for 13 years. It's not the usual note one writes about broadcasters in the West Coast League, but with Knight, that's certainly one of the things that has made him who he is, that background in show business. He does a great job, and enjoy tuning in whenever I can to his calls. So we'll have the pleasure of him being on in the 5th and 6th. First pitch missing to Jacob Villapando, who swings at the 1-0 pitch, and it's a fly ball into medium depth center field. Max Medina is there to make the catch. 2 down, and Karsten Hansen will be the batter.
Now at the plate for the Drifters, the center fielder, number 26, Karsten Hansen.
The runner at first, Melosi Malaafa Alferos, held on by Trey Swigert. And the pitch to Karsten, swung on and fouled back. Karsten bounced into a fielder's choice in his first at-bat. Melosi has not attempted a stolen base this summer. 1-0 Knights, top of the 4th inning. Bryce Hill from the stretch comes to the plate. Fastball grounded slowly to Tate Hammond. He goes to Morosco the short way for the force. And Bryce Hill, while not a 1-2-3 inning, has his most economical frame. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. The Knights 1 and the Drifters nothing back in 90 on the WCL Game of the Week.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
The bottom of the fourth inning for the Knights, the right fielder from Western Oregon University, number 6, Zane Garvey.
Zane Garvey to lead things off for the Knights in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Knights in front 1-0. Caden Harris has gone all the way. The first pitch to Zane, lifted foul towards Waldo Hall to the left and out of play. No balls and 1 strike. Zane flied to right in his first at-bat. He'll be followed by Ryan Severns and then Trey Swigert on this beautiful 3rd of July. Breaking ball misses up and the count 1-1. In the fireworks show, the annual huge event presented by Oregon State Credit Union will play out once again to a full house on a beautiful night. 1-1 changeup from Caden misses away, ball 2, 2-1. Knights baseball brought to you by Block 15 in Corvallis. 2 locations, the downtown pub or the Southtown tap room. Garvey swings and drives one to the gap in right center. Peyton Tyner going back to the track. The ball bounces up and over the fence for a ground rule double. Zane Garvey giving the ball a good ride into right center field. And a leadoff double for the Knights. And the Knights perhaps will bunt to try to get Garvey over, with Aiden Gebhardt having taken over for Peyton Tyner out in right field giving chase, but in vain. Well struck. Zane Garvey with the leadoff double. Ryan Severns, the hitter, the corner infielders in for the Drifters, anticipating the bunt stratagem. Not bunting. Severns, who singled in his first at-bat, looks at a breaking ball. In there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Zane with his second double of the summer. Gets the Knights off to a good start in the bottom of the fourth, trying to add to their 1-0 lead. Severns again not bunting, pulls 1 foul. Past Brooke Knight and down the left field line. No balls and 2 strikes. Again, Block 15's been around for the Knights since 2008, the second year of existence for Knights baseball. We thank them for their continued support. Elevating excellence in the craft beer experience, Block 15. Garvey dancing away from second. The strike 2 pitch is a grounder to short. Garvey will stay put with Melosi Malaafa Alferos fielding and throwing to first. So Coach Knight, who last inning after getting a leadoff walk asked Hammond to bunt, it worked out. The Knights got him on, got him over, and got him in. Here, a leadoff double. And in this case, he decides to go ahead and give Severns, who's been swinging the bat pretty well, a chance to either drive in the run on his own or move Garvey to third. But a nice job by Caden Harris to keep Garvey at second. Trey Swigert, the hitter. Trey flied to deep center in his first at-bat. He takes a strike and the count 0-1. The Knights coming into the second half of play, having gone 4-8 in the first half at home. Breaking ball in there for a strike, and Trey is quickly in a hole 0-2. Having hit just one home run through 12 games in this ballpark, and that was Ian Draper on Tuesday. Zane Garvey, a leadoff double, gets his lead from second. The strike 2 pitch to Trey, hit foul off to the left and out of play. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes with Carter Stewart on deck. Trey Swigert, the team leader in runs batted in with 12. A chance for a 13th here to try to add to the Knights' lead. Takes high and away, ball 1, 1-2. The youngsters, and a lot of them here in the house tonight for baseball and fireworks, clapping their hands rhythmically, trying to lend a little inspiration to Trey, who takes a big rip and fouls it back. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Be sure to stop by Wilson Motors soon, 5th and Buchanan in Corvallis, and ask for free tickets. Wilson Motors night again, July 23rd. Giving away tickets again to a Knights baseball game this summer, July 23rd, Wilson Motors night. Stop by the dealership, 5th and Buchanan, and ask, and they'll give them to you. The 1-2 pitch, Trey pulls one down the right field line in the corner, a fair ball, and that bounces up and over the fence and right. A second ground rule double in the inning. Zane Garvey coming in to score. Trey Swigert ripping a double on one hop over the right field fence in the corner. The Knights lead it 2-0. Carter Stewart will come to the plate. Now, Dean Stiles, I was mentioning, handling the pitching coach duties, does have another right-hander beginning to throw in the bullpen back of Caden Harris. 2 ground rule doubles in the inning for the Knights. They lead it 2-0. Carter Stewart walked and scored last inning. And with the jacket on, Knight, I can't tell if this is Stiles. Okay, it is Dean Stiles, the pitching coach. He has a hoodie on, and while it was warm today, low 80s, pleasant, as always. The place to cool off, people talk about the Oregon coast being the valley's air conditioning, and I get that on those really hot days, 90 degrees, 100-degree days. People just get in the car, make the hour drive over, and it can drop 30 to 40 degrees, and you can experience air conditioning. I also honestly believe, even on the hottest days of the year, in the evenings here at Goss, it's a nice place to come and cool off, and it's cooling off to the point that as Dean Stiles goes out for a conversation with Caden Harris, he'll turn and go back by himself. He's got a hoodie on and his hands in the pockets of that hoodie. Not quite candlestickian as it was here a couple of weeks ago. Flat out cold. It's cooling off, but the Knights heating up, and it's about time. I know they feel that it is. Struggling to score runs, losing 2-1 and 2-1 in each of the last 2 nights. A run last inning, a run here in the 4th, and hungry for more, up 2-0. Carter Stewart, the batter. Trey Swigert at second. Carter takes a strike. The count 0-1. A really good plate appearance for Carter last inning. He was down in the count 0-2 and worked ball 4 and came home on a Max Medina RBI single. He swings and fouls the strike 1 pitch at the plate. 0-2 the count. Two nothing Knights, bottom of the 4th inning. Game 2 tomorrow. No promotion per se. The day itself is the promotion. The official 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. A great day for the land. The strike 2 pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. Carter Stewart goes down on 3 pitches. Tate Hammond, the batter. Tate got his job done last inning, a first pitch sacrifice bunt to get Carter Stewart into scoring position. Now Tate has a chance to swing away and add to the Knights' lead. 2-0 Corvallis in the bottom of the fourth. 6:35 tomorrow night, 5:05 on Sunday. The pitch to Tate, a fly ball to center and playable. Karsten Hansen is there to make the catch. The Knights get a couple of ground rule doubles in the inning. Zane Garvey and Trey Swigert provide them, and the Knights do add a run to the advantage. We are through 4 on this 3rd of July. It's the Knights 2 and the Drifters nothing. The voice of the Drifters, Knight Uretsky, will take you through the 5th and 6th innings. He's next. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back in 90, 2-0 Knights. Knight Uretsky coming up in 90 on the West Coast League Game of the Week.
Julianne, Cole, and Marie.
No matter what team you're on, no matter where you explore, there's a Richardson for you. We don't just give you our word, we give you our name. We started over 50 years ago as a hometown sporting goods business, with a particular devotion to America's pastime. As we grew, so did demand for our products, both on and off the field of play. Today we serve teams, brands, and businesses, and we've earned our reputation as the best. We did it through our devotion to our craft and our customers. We've built our business on the spirit of competition and the thrill of adventure, with a relentless focus on details and an enduring commitment to quality in every stitch. We've set a high bar for ourselves because you've made our team part of your team. And your team deserves the best.
Oh, a little bit closer. All right, Cole. 3 times is a charm. Oh. All right, Marie.
2-0 Knights on this Oregon State Credit Union fireworks night before a full house at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. We go to the top of the 5th inning, and honored to be joined by the voice of the Springfield Drifters, Knight Uretsky, who will take you through the next couple of innings. Jack Galanita takes over pitching chores and begins to loosen up. Knight, good to see you again. How are you?
Doing great, Mike. You know, it's always an honor to get to share the mic with you and be here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field.
It's a good look when it's full like this, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Have you been here before for a fireworks night?
I've not been here before for a fireworks night. I'm really excited to be here. We just had our fireworks night last night.
How did it go?
It was great. Honestly, you know, I've been with the Drifters for 5 years, and I would say that was probably the smoothest fireworks night that we've had in our team's history. And we had a little under 1,900 fans at the ballpark, so it was awesome.
And I hear from Commissioner Nair himself, who I'm sure you saw recently at your ballpark. He just said that it's night and day in terms of, as you try to build and grow the Drifters' place in the community, it's happening, and that this year there's really been a significant jump. Do you concur?
Absolutely, and it's the little things like going to the coffee shop and a kid coming up to you and saying, "Oh my gosh, do you play for the Drifters? Do you work for the Drifters?" And get excited about the players that are already on our team in the spring. It's those little connections that you make in the community that are starting to really pay off, and it's exciting to see 5 years in. All the hard work paying off.
That's really great to see. Congratulations on all the the patience and perseverance, and as you say, paying off. 2-0 Knights. Jack Galanita in. Knight, take it away.
Thank you, Mike. No balls and a strike to Cooper Mullins as the first pitch from Galanita comes in for a strike. Second pitch to Mullins is fouled back. 0-2 to Mullins. Mullins, the Michigan man from Marist High School out in Eugene, 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. Great outing for Bryce Hill, the starter for Corvallis, heading off to Stanford University. 4 innings pitch for him, 8 strikeouts across the 4 frames with 3 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 2 hit by pitches. Galanita delivers a pitch down and away to Mullins. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Mullins looking to get on base for the first time today. Came in as the team leader in batting average for Springfield, entering today with a .316 average. Third pitch, now this one flown out towards left field, and Porter over to make the catch for out number 1. Brings up Tristan Jennings, the left fielder for the Drifters. 1 for 2 today, a single back in the first inning and a strikeout in the third. Next inning, we'll have Jasmine Williams, the assistant general manager for the Springfield Drifters, joining me on the broadcast. Looking forward to interviewing her, a remarkable young woman in the West Coast League, just 24 years old, and the assistant general manager for the Springfield Drifters. Really excited to have her on the broadcast with me. First pitch to Tristan Jennings, in for a strike, 0-1. Jennings, originally from Porter Ranch, California, spent this past spring at Hawaii Pacific, where his older brother Morgan was playing, transferring back home to Southern California, going to go play at LA Valley College next year. Skies this out towards right field, Garvey in to make the catch. 2 quick flyouts for Galanita, the right-hander from George Fox. Galanita appearing for the 12th time this season, a 2-0 record for the right-hander from Lake Balboa. 4.50 ERA entering today across 22 innings pitched. 17 strikeouts to 6 walks for Galanita. 3-hole hitter for the Drifters, Johnny Elliott into the box, a hit by pitch and a ground out so far. Elliott takes the first pitch down and away, 1-0. For a lot of these Springfield Drifters players, it's their first time playing here in Corvallis, but Elliott played with the Bend Elks a couple of seasons ago, back in the WCL after spending the last season in the Northwoods League. Rolls this to the right side. Hammond collects, fires the first, and it's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Jack Galanita. We're halfway through the game, 2-0 the score. Corvallis with the lead here on the West Coast League's Game of the Week. Nothing the score. Bottom of the 5th inning. Corvallis with the lead. The Springfield Drifters. Right-hander Caden Harris out of Mount Marty. Still on the bump for the Drifters. His 5th inning of work. Top of the order due up for the Knights as the first pitch to Max Medina drops below the knees. 1-0. Medina fly out to center field back in the first. An RBI single and a high bouncing ball to the right side back in the third. A 1-0 pitch to Medina. In for a strike. 1-1. So Medina out of Cal Poly, originally from Patterson, California, Northern Central Valley. Slaps this one out towards right field, and Gebhardt can't get to it. It bounces over him and rolls onto the track. Hurston Hansen picks it up. Digging for third is Medina, and he's going to get there, sliding in there safely with a triple. A leadoff triple for Max Medina, his second triple of the season. And the Knights are back in business here in the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 the score. Corvallis with the lead. 1 run in each of the past 2 frames. As now Joey Morosco will stand in. Walked his last time up, the line out to right field. Prior to that, infield comes in for Springfield. Here's a pitcher warming up in the bullpen for the Drifters. Harris hangs a breaking ball in for a strike, 0-1. Defensively for the Drifters, Tristan Jennings out in left field, Karsten Hansen in center. Aiden Gebhard into the game in right field, came in as a substitute for Peyton Tyner in inning number 3. Another breaking ball from Harris, in for a strike to Morosco, 0-2. In the infield, left to right, Jacob Villapando, Melosi Mataf-Alferos, Cooper Mullins, and Colton Perez, with Preston Armstrong catching behind the plate. No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch from Harris. Fouled away in Urchin Alley. Harris, a returner for the Springfield Drifters. Last season with the Drifters, set the team's win record with 4 wins across 19 appearances. Only got 1 start, but this is 4th of the summer so far for Springfield. 0-2 pitch once again. Looped out towards shallow center field. Back is Melosi Mataf-Alferos, who makes the catch in the dirt just before the grass for out number 1. So an out, a runner at third here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 2-0 Corvallis with the lead, as the 3-hole hitter, Maverick Russell, will stand in. Russell heading into his sophomore season at UC Santa Barbara, originally from Southern California. Whittier, his hometown. Chance for an RBI here. Infield still in with 1 out. First pitch. Knocked out towards center field. Into the alley is Hansen, who makes the catch, tagging at third, and coming in to score is Medina. It's a sacrifice fly for Maverick Russell, and the Knights extend their lead. It's 3-0. So a run in each of the past 3 frames for Corvallis. 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the 5th. Ethan Porter to the plate. Porter 0 for 2, a fly out to right field and 1 to center field as he gets a bunt down the third base side, and it's a beauty. A bunt single for Ethan Porter as the Oregon State product puts himself at first base here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Beautiful night for baseball here in the Mid-Valley. Currently 71 degrees, fireworks night at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Drifters just had their fireworks night yesterday, as mentioned, and it's awesome to see the ballpark filled to the brim here in Corvallis. I believe about 3,500 fans in attendance, maybe a little bit more. Not really an empty seat in sight. So runner at first, 2 outs. The first pitch to Zane Garvey up and inside. 1-0. Garvey a double and a run last inning in the 4th. It was a ground rule double. 1 of 2 in the inning for Corvallis to score 1 run. Throw back towards first base, a close play. The tag by Perez in time. So Harris picks off Porter for the final out here in the bottom of the 5th, but Corvallis scores 1 run on 2 hits, no errors defensively for Springfield, and no runners left on base. End of the 6th inning. When we return, we'll have Jasmine Williams, the assistant general manager of the Springfield Drifters, with us here on the West Coast League's Game of the Week.
Okay, now fans, it's time for the Dizzy Bat race. We have relay team, Stephen and Owen, Francesca and Sinley.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Leading off the sixth inning for the Drifters, the first baseman, number 28, Colton Perez.
Top of the sixth inning, 3-0 the score. Jack Galanita, I should say, for the Corvallis Knights, back on the bump as Colton Perez steps to the plate. First pitch to Perez, swings and misses, 0-1. We're going to bring on Jasmine Williams, the assistant general manager of the Springfield Drifters, onto the broadcast. Jasmine, how are we doing?
I'm good. How are you, Knight?
I'm doing great. You know, it's so great to be with you on the broadcast for the first time. 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 0-2. You know, back home in Springfield, we don't really get an opportunity to get on air together. You know, I'm in the booth. You're kind of running things operationally. But welcome to the broadcast. Really happy to have you.
Thank you.
You know, this is your third season with the Springfield Drifters. You started as an intern, now the assistant general manager. You know, I could just read your bio, but, you know, I don't want to do that. Tell your story. How did you end up in your position at just 24 years old?
Yeah, I mean, so I went to Linfield, did not study sports management or anything like that, studied psychology. Just kind of worked in the sports department there and got connected with someone working down at the Drifters at the time and got lucky enough, kind of right place, right time to get like a game day ops role there my first year. And again, right place, right time. They were kind of looking for a new assistant GM at the time in that fall, and I was just kind of there, and here we are now. So kind of crazy how it all worked out, but.
Absolutely. Colton Perez strikes out swinging, one away here in the top of the sixth inning. 3-0 Corvallis with the lead. Preston Armstrong to the plate. First pitch to him, in for a strike, 0-1. You know, how have you seen your role kind of expand from year one to where you are right now?
Yeah, it's changed a lot. I mean, going from that first summer just doing on-field stuff and to then just kind of dipping my toes into the management side of it. And now, you know, it's full-on promotions and sponsorships and all of the pieces to make it go around. I feel like I've just learned so much in those 2 years. So it's grown exponentially over those past 3 years, as you know, you've seen too, and same with you and your role. So it's been really cool for both of us, I think, to grow.
Absolutely. 0-2 pitch, down and away. 1 balls and 2 strikes. Preston Armstrong 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. You know, we're here tonight on Fireworks Night. We had our Fireworks Night yesterday, but as you kind of observe things here in Corvallis from an operational standpoint, it kind of takes a village to put on an event like this. What do you kind of take away seeing an event like this put on by the Corvallis Night and see their game plan kind of go out in fruition?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I have so much respect for them. You know, we know how much goes into an event like this, so to come out and be able to watch it, we just know how much is going on behind the scenes and how much their front office and Heather and Derek have done to make something like this go on. So I think it just gives you a new respect for stuff like this when you get to watch it and really appreciate when stuff is going smoothly. You know how much they prepped for this and how much they're working behind the scenes all the time. So it's really cool.
Couple of foul offs for Preston Armstrong. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes with Jack Galanita on the mound for Corvallis. He'll wheel and deal. The 1-2 pitch. Down and away. The appeal does not go. 2-2. So yesterday was our Fireworks Night. You know, I'm up in the press box. I'm calling the game. Not necessarily out in the concourse seeing how things are going operationally. How did you think this year's fireworks show on the July 2nd date kind of went for us as an organization?
It was incredible. I could honestly say today, I think it was our best game yet. Obviously last year's was awesome as well. So many people packed in the house last year, but same thing for this year, except I think everything went 10 times smoother this year. We had new vendors that were out there having a great time. And I know a lot of new people were in the ballpark last night for the first time. Got the dub, got the sweep, so can't really ask for anything more than that. It was the perfect night. I can honestly say that.
Absolutely. Drifters pulling off a series sweep against the Marionberries. First series sweep and series win of the season for Springfield. A much needed series win for the Drifters, who come into this one 9-18 overall, 6-12 in WCL South play. They've played a bunch of competitive games, but finally putting it together at the midway point in the season. Preston Armstrong, a pop out to third base. I believe we're having a pinch hitter here. I think it's Hunter Meyer stepping to the plate for Aiden Gebhardt. First pitch to Meyer, grounds it towards the left side, picked up by Severns, the third baseman. The sidearm to first in time for the final out. 3 up, 3 down for the Drifters in the top of the 6th inning. We head to the bottom of 6 as we continue our conversation with Jasmine Williams, the assistant general manager of the Springfield Drifters, here on the West Coast League's Game of the Week.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Pope's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Bottom of the sixth inning, the score 3-0. Corvallis with the lead. Caden Harris, his day is done after 5 innings. Overall, 3 earned runs given up by Caden Harris. Pretty good work for Harris, and his 3rd start of the season for Springfield, and he gives it over to Sonny Pena, another returner for the Springfield Drifters. Now Uretsky here with Jasmine Williams, the assistant general manager for the Springfield Drifters. Jasmine, welcome back to the broadcast for the bottom of the 6th inning. We talked about fireworks night yesterday for the Drifters. A lot of other promotions coming up for Springfield. We got a 6-game homestand coming up next week, including 3 games against the Corvallis Knights. What should fans kind of look out for on the horizon from Springfield?
Yeah, I'd say the big one next week is we got Rapid's 5th birthday party coming up. So we got a bunch of mascots there to celebrate. We're doing our first ever bobblehead giveaway. You can take a guess as to what that bobblehead's going to be on Rapid's birthday. So we're super excited for that one. And yeah, lots of other fun stuff coming up this summer, about halfway through, but still lots to come, so we're definitely excited.
Zane Garvey back up to the plate. Was up at the dish last inning, but Ethan Porter was picked off by Caden Harris for the final out, and so Garvey comes back up to face off against Sonny Pena, newly in the transfer portal out of Cal State Monterey Bay. First pitch is upstairs. 1-0 Garvey, a double and a pop-up so far. It's Rapid's birthday coming up next week. What day is that?
That is on Saturday, July 11th, 6:35 p.m.
So that is a game against the Corvallis Knights. So if there are Knights fans interested in making the trip down to Springfield, come out. You can get a Rapid bobblehead. Is the Corvallis Knights mascot going to be there?
They will not. I know. They were invited. That's okay. We were invited to theirs too, and we're not going to be there either. So it's all good. It's even. It's even.
You know, you can't make every reservation.
You can't. You can't. Next year we'll be making that reservation way in advance. Mac's got to be there.
1 ball and 2 strikes as Garvey swings through it. So a lot of promotions on the horizon. You talk about the operations and all the work that goes into planning those promotions. What kind of team does it take to kind of plan all those promotions and execute each night?
Yeah, great question. I think on the planning side, I mean, as you know, it's a pretty small team of us actually that get those promotions all planned. We definitely rely largely on, our sponsors and partners and people to come out and help us put on such great nights, and we've had awesome people do that. Team Springfield out for opening night. So many great people help us put on those promotions. And on the actual night, of course, we've got our great group of interns that help us out with all of those. It definitely takes a big team to make all that stuff happen.
And for you, you are a woman working in the West Coast League, and I know that throughout the offseason you meet with other women, such as Heather from the Corvallis Knights, and you guys kind of all connect together. How special are those meetings for you guys and for you in your role, planning what you do with the Drifters?
Yeah, it's been so special. Honestly, I think one of the best things about the West Coast League is the way that all the teams really do band together to help each other, and we're not hiding stuff from each other. We're not rivals on the promotion side or on the operational side. Of course, on the field we are, but getting to meet with Heather especially, she's been such a great mentor for me, and we both started kind of at the same time in this league. So getting to just talk with each other, we always have coffee meetings after the season, before the season, just to see kind of what went well, and never hiding anything. If something went well, we're always going to share that with each other and hope that the other teams can adopt that too. So it's really special to have that group to kind of mentor you there.
No balls and 2 strikes to Ryan Severns as this is fouled back over our shoulder and out of play. One out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3-0 the score. Corvallis with the lead. Sonny Pena on the mound with Severns at the plate. He's 1 for 2. A single back in the 2nd inning, and then a ground out in the 4th. Pena set for the 0-2 delivery. His pitch looked at, called strike 3. 2 up, 2 down in the bottom of the 6th inning, with Corvallis again leading 3-0. So, looking on the horizon, the Drifters, you and I, we've kind of been hearing a little bit about the Academy building in downtown Springfield, a new project of our owners, Ike Olson and Kelly Richardson. What should fans know about that project moving forward?
Yeah, totally. We've got this new building right in downtown Springfield that's currently being renovated. Hopefully done in the next few months here. That it's going to be our new home base, which will be awesome for the city of Springfield to have that home base for us. And it'll be our offices and our merchandise store, as well as a bunch of batting cages and weight rooms and things like that, where we're hoping to really just build our youth programs and make youth baseball a bigger thing in Springfield and give kids more kids opportunities to play baseball. So definitely looking forward to that. That was a huge step for the Drifters and just kind of making our mark in Springfield.
1 ball and 1 strike to Trey Swiger. Had an RBI double his last time up on a ground rule double to the right field side. Overall, 1 for 2 with a fly out to center field back in the 2nd. Sonny Pena looking for a quick 1-2-3 inning here in the bottom of the 6th. His 1-1 pitch, up and away, 2-1. Knight Uretsky, the voice of the Springfield Drifters, joined with Jasmine Williams, the assistant general manager of the Springfield Drifters here on the West Coast League's Game of the Week. Truly an honor to get to share the mic with Mike Parker and get to have this interview here during the West Coast League's Game of the Week. Our very first time being featured on the West Coast League's Game of the Week as well. Exciting stuff. Pena delivers a pitch in for a strike, 2-2. So what else should fans know? What's on the horizon for the Springfield Drifters?
Yeah, I mean, lots of other promotions. We've got Christmas in July coming up, which is a personal favorite of mine. We've got another fireworks show coming up on August 1st, so not too late to catch those. We got our country night coming up on July 24th. That one will be really awesome too. More to come on that one. If you're interested, keep an eye out on that for an exciting thing. But yeah, lots of fun stuff to come.
Absolutely. We love making the trip up to Corvallis and taking in Knights games here at this ballpark every year, and we hope that some of you Knights fans want to come down to Springfield and experience the Springfield Drifters game for the first time. As Sonny Pena strikes out Trey Swiger on a looking strikeout for a quick 1-2-3 inning. Special thanks to Mike Parker and the Corvallis Knights for giving us time to come on to the broadcast today and talk a little bit about the Springfield Drifters. Jasmine, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. 3-0 the score as we head to the 7th inning. Mike Parker comes back to the broadcast here on the West Coast League's Game of the Week when we return.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Three to nothing the score as we begin the top of the 7th inning. Knight Uretsky still with you. Mike Parker will return for inning number 8. First pitch to Mataf Alferos comes in for a strike, 0-1. Melosi, Jacob Villapando, and Karsten Hansen do up for the Springfield Drifters. The bottom of the order, batters 7, 8, and 9 here in the top of the 7th inning. Low-scoring game so far as Mataf Alferos swings through a pitch from Galanita, 0-2. Galanita came in Couple innings ago in the 5th inning has so far sent the Drifters down in order. Couple of quick innings, and so get an extra inning on the broadcast today as this one is down low to Montauf Alferos, 1-2. So the Knights with 1 run in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings. Held scoreless in the 6th, and now Springfield looking to answer as Montauf Alferos slashes one to center field for his 2nd hit of the game. Drifters now with 4 hits, half of them Montauf Alferos, and he so needed it. He's had a slow start to the season, came in with just 4 hits in 28 at-bats, trying to shake off the rust after just limited action in the spring at the University of Oregon. Just 5 at-bats with the Oregon Ducks. He went 1 for 5, primarily was used as a defensive replacement, but tough to get some time in the infield with a couple of future draft picks in Maddox Maloney and Ryan Cooney on the roster. Villapando skies it out towards right field on the first pitch he sees. Over to make the catch in right field is Zane Garvey for out number 1. 3-0, Corvallis with the lead in the top of the 7th, and in steps Karsten Hansen, freshly committed to Marshall University out of Lower Columbia. Was the NWAC West Position Player of the Year and a first-team NWAC West player at Lower Columbia, winning the NWAC title with the Red Devils. Galanita throws back towards first base. Back there safely is Montauf Alferos. Montauf Alferos, no steals and no attempts so far this season for Springfield. Just his 10th game overall. Arrived to the team about midway through June. Hansen shows bunt, he pulls it back. Throw goes back towards first base from Carter Stewart, the catcher, and back there safely, once again, is Montauf Alferos. So Galanita on the mound for the Corvallis Knights, as mentioned, from George Fox, originally from Lake Balboa, California, in the San Fernando Valley. Just wrapped up his 3rd season at George Fox, goes back towards first base, and back there safely once again is Montauf Alferos. 14 appearances out of the bullpen at George Fox this past season for Galanita. Teammates there with Springfield Drifters right-handed pitcher Drew Miller, who picked up a save for Springfield a couple of days ago. Hansen lines it to left field, and it drops down for a base hit. Montauf Alferos over to second. 2 singles in the inning, and Springfield has 2 runners aboard here in the top of the 7th inning. 3-0, Corvallis with the lead. On the top of the order, due up for the Drifters, with Cooper Mullins coming to the plate. Mullins known as Mr. Drifter around Springfield, his 4th season with the Springfield Drifters. So far today, hitless, 2 strikeouts and a flyout. He's the Drifter career record holder for games played, at-bats, hits, doubles, RBIs, walks. Pretty much everything offensively. Probably needs another triple or 2 to set the record for triples. Doesn't have a ton of pop. Long ways away from the home run record as he takes the pitch up and away. 1-0. Does have 1 home run this season with 15 RBIs. 2 total in his career. Elijah Maris played with the Drifters in the 2024 season. He has the record with 5 homers. 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch to Mullins. Up and away. 2 balls and no strikes. So an opportunity here for Mullins to pick up an RBI and add on to his RBI total in his career. Currently 2nd on the team in ribbies this season. It has a chance to tie Nolan Miller. The team lead of 16 with a base hit here, and Montauf Alferos at second. Takes the pitch outside. 3 balls and no strikes. He's always been a patient hitter, too. I remember his first season in Springfield. He was a 10-day contract kid, and we didn't exactly know what we were getting out of Mullins, but he walked a ton, had a high on-base percentage, and he's kept it up throughout his Drifter career. And here's a walk for Mullins to load the bases. So 2 singles and a walk have loaded him up for Tristan Jennings with 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. Tying run at first base. The go-ahead run coming to the plate in Jennings. Jennings a single back in the 1st inning, a strikeout in the 3rd, and a fly out in the 5th. As now Carter Stewart comes to the mound to talk things over with Galanita. Offensively for the Knights, still the same as the starting lineup. Ethan Porter out in left, Max Medina in center, Zane Garvey in right, Ryan Severns at third base, Joey Marasco at short, Tate Hammond at second, Trey Swagger at first base, and Carter Stewart behind the plate. So in steps Jennings, the right-handed hitter from LA Valley College, and we're gonna have a mound meeting now with Bo Kearns coming down. Honestly, one thing that has been a little bit bumming, or a little bit sad for me, I guess, in the offseason was the closure of Point Streak. A lot of great information from WCL Stats throughout the years, and I was looking at Bo Kearns' Point Streak page from back in 2014, earlier this offseason, and he was playing with the Yakima Valley Pippins at one point in a game against the Kitsap Blue Jackets, who were a member of the WCL back then. He actually outdueled future Cy Young winner Tarek Skubal. Skubal was pitching for the Blue Jackets then, and he pitched 5 innings, and Kearns actually pitched 6 innings for the Yakima Valley Pippins in a game. Only allowed 1 run, with Skubal giving up 2 runs. And Kearns earned the win against Skubal. It's a pretty big honor. And he's quite the guy to have in the dugout for the Knights. Pitch drops in for a strike. It's Tristan Jennings, 0-1. So a good guy to get a talk to for Jack Galanita. The right-hander comes set, no balls and a strike. Here's the pitch to Jennings. Bouncing ball to the left side, left of the line, foul, 0-2. Drifters threatening. It's a team that has struggled to score runs this season, even the sweep against the Berries. It was 2-1, 2-1, and 6-5. Feels like some nights the offense is clicking and the pitching isn't. And then some days, pitching's clicking, but the offense isn't. Today, pitching has kept the Drifters in the game, only trailing by 3. Pitch inside. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes, but a chance to bring the game closer with a base hit here. Big opportunity for the 2-hole hitter, a 2-way player for Springfield, who hasn't had many starts this season as an outfielder, just the 7th overall. Has 6 appearances as a pitcher this season, as he lines a ball foul down the first base line. Coming in today, just 15 at-bats for Jennings. Picked up his 5th hit of the season, back in the first with that single. And again, a red shirt, so shaking off the rust after not playing all spring. 1 ball and 2 strikes, here's the pitch. Cut on and miss. Jennings chases a breaking ball down and away. 2 away. 3-0, Corvallis with the lead. As Johnny Elliott will have to wait. We might get a pitching change here. It looks like Brooks Knight is coming out. And this might be it for Galanita. And it is. So we will have a pitching change. We'll take a quick timeout, and we'll let you know who the new pitcher is on the other half of this 90-second timeout here on the West Coast League's Game of the Week.
Sound means it's our call to the bullpen, presented by Wilson Motors. Head on over to Wilson Motors off the corner of 5th and Buchanan and grab your free general admission ticket to Wilson Motors Night on July 23rd. While you're there, check out their selection of Ford, Ram, Dodge, Jeep, and Chrysler vehicles. The new pitcher for the Knights from Lower Columbia, number 4, Matthew Kosturka.
So Jack Galanita, his day is done after 2 2/3 innings, allowed 2 hits, no runs so far, is responsible for all 3 base runners with a walk and 2 strikeouts. The Knights go to Matthew Kozdurka, right-hander from Lower Columbia, junior from Boring, Oregon. So bases loaded, 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning, 3-0 the score, Corvallis with the lead. As Johnny Elliott will come to the plate for Springfield. Melosi, Montoff, Alfaro set third, Karsten Hansen at second, and Cooper Mullins at first. Kozdurka, the right-hander ready, out of the stretch. His first pitch to Elliott is cut on and miss, 0-1. Looked like a half swing from Elliott. He was fooled by the breaking ball of Kozdurka, 0-1. So Kozdurka into the game for Corvallis, a pitcher last season with the Marion Berries, now playing this summer in Corvallis in the WCL. Pitch to Elliott, down and away, 1-1. Kozdurka committed to Western Kentucky. After wrapping up his 2-year career at Lower Columbia, phenomenal numbers across 2 seasons with the Red Devils. 1.10 ERA in 25, 0.89 in 2026. Elliott skies it out towards the right side, and into the bleachers it goes. Do 1-2. He has yet to give up a run this season for Corvallis across 4 appearances and 4 1/3 innings, allowing 4 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Pressure spot here with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Fans getting into it. All 3,500 plus here at Goss Stadium making some noise. The 1-2 delivery. Check swing, he went around. A strikeout for Kozdurka, and the bases are left loaded for Springfield. 3-0, Corvallis with the lead. Time to stretch here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on the West Coast League's Game of the Week.
So the score still stands. The Knights 3.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Once the game is over, access the field with a TNT Builders party deck down the third baseline.
3-0 the score. Corvallis with the lead as we begin the bottom of the 7th inning. Knight Uretsky in for inning number 7 for Mike Parker, the voice of the Corvallis Knights. He'll be back with you for the final 2 frames. He'll be hopefully joined alongside Dan Siegel for the 8th inning, but you still got me for this bottom of the 7th inning. Sonny Pena, his day is done after just 1 inning pitch, no hits, 2 strikeouts for Pena, who has just had a great second half of June into July now. Had a little bit of a injury that limited him in the early season for Springfield, but since returning at the midway point in June, he has not allowed a run since June 12th against Victoria, and he's had the strikeout numbers go substantially up since then. A couple of 5 strikeouts performances and a 3-up, 3-down inning with 2 Ks for Pena. Continues to find success out of the bullpen. Drifters now turn to Ezra James, a new addition to the roster today. Just got added to the team this morning, originally from Lincoln City, Oregon, a graduate of Taft High School, now playing at Southwestern Oregon Community College. Carter Stewart to the plate. The first pitch from James is inside, 1-0. James just wrapped up his first season at SWAC down in Coos Bay. 12 appearances, 4 starts, a 3-3 record with 1 save for the Lakers. 1-0 pitch. Launched out towards right field. Back. Near the wall is Hunter Meyer, and he makes the catch for out number 1. So Meyer in the game out in right field. We saw him as a pinch hitter come in for Aiden Gebhard. 2 substitutions in right field today. Peyton Steiner got the start out in right for Aiden Gebhard came in, got an at bat, played some defense. Gebhard struck out, and so they gave it over to Hunter Meyer, who we saw earlier at first base as the first base coach for the Springfield Drifters. So Ezra James starts his Drifters career with an out and delivers a first pitch strike now to the 9-hole hitter, Tate Hammond. Hammond, a sac bunt back in the 3rd inning, a fly out to center field in the 4th. The right-hander comes set, takes a breath, kicks and fires, and it's rolled through the 5-6 hole into left field. A base hit for the 9-hole hitter, turns over the lineup for Corvallis, bringing back up Max Medina, who might be the best hitter offensively today for Corvallis, going 2 for 3. The double, a run scored, and an RBI single back in the 3rd. Medina, his 21st game of the season for Corvallis. Originally committed to Oregon, now heading to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Out of Patterson High School in Patterson, California. Pitch up and away to him, 1-0. Had a 3-hit game against Nanaimo back on the 16th of June, a series in which Corvallis was swept by the Night Owls. 1-0 pitch, bounced foul, 1-1. Corvallis coming into this one, 13-14, looking to get back to 500, 14-14 if they can hang on with this 3-0 lead. Certainly wasn't the first half of the season that Corvallis was used to. Springfield, 9-18, but riding some momentum after the sweep against Marion. Pitch above the letters, throw down towards second, the delayed steal, they got him. An odd play as Hammond didn't go down with a slide. The throw was high and the tag by Mullins was in time as he leaped up and then applied the tag near the helmet area of Hammond. So 2 away. Looked like maybe miscommunication, potentially a hit-and-run situation in which Medina didn't swing it through. Either way, it's a throw out for Preston Armstrong. As now this is roped down the right field line. A base hit for Medina, and now he's turning for 2. In the corner is Meyer as he scoops it up, throws it in. Medina looking for 3. The throw from Mullins is late, and it's a triple for Medina. A single, a double, and now a triple in the last 3 plate appearances for Medina. And if Hammond just stays at first base, that's an RBI instead. It's still 3-0 with 2 outs and a runner at 3rd. Dean Stiles now making his way out to talk things over with Ezra James. Stiles' his 2nd season with the Springfield Drifters, the pitching coach. Him and Jeff Lyle, the head coach of the Springfield Drifters, going back a couple of years. Both them coached together in the Pioneer League with the Ogden Raptors back in 2021. Lyle was the hitting and infield coach for the Raptors, while Stiles was actually the manager of the Ogden Raptors during that 2021 season. Stiles then went on and became the pitching coach for the Tigers in their minor league system with their single-A program out in Whitewater. Still has his Detroit Tigers backpack to this day. In fact, he brought the backpack with him to Corvallis today. It's easy to tell which backpack is his because it has the big old D right on it. And after 2 seasons with the Tigers, ended up at University of St. Mary in Kansas before becoming the Drifters pitching coach in the fall of 2024. Joey Morosco back to the plate for Corvallis. Hitless today, walked back in the 3rd, popped up to short his last time up. A chance for an RBI here. First pitch, a breaking ball down and away. He did not go around, 1-0. Home plate umpire today, Thomas Glynn, with Michael Gray out in the field. 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch from James. Inside. 2-0. So the Knights threatening once again. Scored 1 run in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. Held scoreless in the 6th. But another run waiting for them 90 feet away at third base. The 2-0 pitch. Misses the mark. 3-0. So thrown right into the fire for the right-hander James. Drifters desperate for pitching after a couple of injuries and a couple of players unable to join the team this season. Pitch in for a strike, 3-1. Slowly but surely adding some pitchers to the roster. Putting it together. Good pitching performances this week for Springfield. Preserved the bullpen for this weekend series against the Knights. Popped up out towards the left side. Into the grass spot off Alferos. The shortstop makes the catch for the final out. 3-0, Corvallis with the lead as we head to the 8th inning. A scoreless inning for Ezra James in his Drifters debut. Going to the 8th, Mike Parker will take you the rest of the way with Dan Siegel making his way up the stands right now. He'll join him for the 8th inning here on the West Coast League's Game of the Week.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Pope's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
Financial empowerment. Do more with your money. Do more with your future. We're Oregon State Credit Union. Come join us today.
Leading off for the Drifters, the first baseman, number 28, Colton Perez.
Top of the 8th inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field before a full house. What a night. The Knights leading the Springfield Drifters 3-0, 3,112 in the ballpark. Matt Kozdurka goes to work against Colton Perez of the Drifters. And the first pitch, breaking ball to Colton, in there for a strike. Colton has struck out twice and walked. Kozdurka strike 1 fastball up and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. It is a beautiful scene here tonight. We had a gorgeous day by day in the low 80s. And Dan Siegel, the Knights CEO, will be joining me here in just a second. Just an alert to Everett and crew. What a great job that Everett, Barty, Brian Thomas, under the direction of Brendan Brucker, have done all year long, and tonight on this West Coast League Game of the Week. And CEO Dan Siegel joining me here upstairs on this beautiful 3rd of July with fireworks coming. Kozdurka's strike 2, off speed, a little bit high and inside. And the count evens up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dan, I don't know what goes through your mind when you look around and see this, but tell us. I mean, it's just a beautiful sight.
First, I love it.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to bring community together like this. That's what, we're here to do, and we take a lot of pride in it. And, Corvallis always shows up on July 3rd. You've been here all these years. It's a sellout every July 3rd. We appreciate Oregon State Credit Union sponsoring this event year in and year out. But it's great to see the park packed, and there's a lot of good energy.
The 3-2 pitch to Colton Perez misses for ball 4. Leadoff walk issued by Matt Kozdurka after coming in and striking out Johnny Elliott to end the 7th inning. A leadoff free pass here, and now Preston Armstrong, the batter, the catcher who has struck out twice and popped to third. 3,112, indeed another sellout, fireworks coming. And it's the side of all the families and the youngsters. The pitch to Armstrong hit foul, back of the plate and out of play. Dan, I don't know if, I know that it's always been affordable family fun, always been a place where families come, but this week in particular with the Boys and Girls Club night and the Reading Club night and here tonight, a lot of young people, and I love to see that.
Yeah, I love to too. A lot of families, a lot of kids running around. Super safe place to have a good time. They love chasing the foul balls and the infamous Urchin Alley that you've coined.
They do, and they love Mac tonight too. I've seen more photo ops with Mac tonight. Kids gathered around him. The strike one breaking ball just missed from Matt Kozdurka. 3-0 Knights, top of the 8th inning. A leadoff walk to Colton Perez. Preston Armstrong at the plate. Mac just came up these stairs a moment ago, and he had about 14 kids lined up right down here.
Piper.
Yeah.
Well, I want to give props to Knights fans because the last few nights they have been so into it, so enthusiastic, so supportive. Late in the innings, we've been scuffling, but they haven't given up on the team, and it just goes to show that they like their baseball, and they're going to root on their hometown team. So we appreciate that.
No, we do, and I've noticed it. They've been right to the very last pitch. The 2-1 pitch in there for a strike from Matt Kozdurka on Preston Armstrong. 2-2 the count. 3-0 Knights in the 8th. And this is a showcase game tonight here. It's beautiful to see it on the West Coast League Game of the Week. And Dan, the West Coast League itself is a showcase league now. It's really something, isn't it?
It's really strong. You look at all the competitive teams in the North, and
breaking ball pulled foul. The count remains 2-2.
Yeah, in the South, Richfield's having a great summer, but there's great teams in Marion and Springfield and Bend and Walla Walla, Yakima. There's never really a night off. Very competitive.
Springfield coming in 9-18, yes, but they just swept the Berries.
Yeah,
and it's a fresh start for both teams, the Knights and Drifters here tonight for the second half. The 2-2 pitch, Kozdurka delivers, pop foul off third. Coming over is Ryan Severance as far as he can, and he makes the play. One away. Nicely done by both Severance and Kozdurka, pitching to contact for the out, and that'll bring to the plate Hunter Meyer, the right fielder. Mike Parker with Dan Siegel here on the West Coast League. Oh, we got a different hitter now. This is the fourth batter that Coach Lyle has used in the 6 hole. Is coming to the plate now for the Drifters will be, and my roster, it's getting a little dark on me. I got to make sure let me get the light.
There's a high pop up.
And he pops one up, does Mr. Stavros. And I'm
Stavros, there you go.
I'm looking for the first name now, though, to be honest with you. Blake Stavros, thank you.
And he hit earlier, he pinch hit earlier.
Okay, and he pops out here.
He's 0-2 now, I do believe.
You. I did have Hunter Meyer, I thought, earlier there. But we've seen Peyton Turner, Aiden Gebhardt, Meyer, and now Stavros popping out to shallow center, 2 down, and Melosi Malafa Alferos, the batter. We share the live streams with the Springfield Drifters, their ownership, management, Knight Uretsky, the talented young broadcaster. So he had Jasmine Williams, their assistant GM, on, and they shared some time on this broadcast. The first pitch missing to Melosi. Kozdurka back, the 1-0 pitch hit foul back of the plate. And Rob Nyer told me recently, and Dan, he's probably shared it with you as well, but the Drifters have really taken a huge step forward this year.
Well, under the leadership of Kelly Richardson and Ike Olson, 2 great owners in the league, they just keep getting better. They had a big crowd last night, a sellout, and they play good baseball, and Jeff Lyle's doing a good job, so really excited to see the growth of the Drifters.
And, for the purposes of this being the Corvallis Knights trying to get off to a good start in the second half, the Knights leading 3-0 in the 8th. The pitch on the way to Melosi is hooked down the right field line in the corner, a foul ball. And it disappears on us here, Dan. I couldn't tell, but I saw the umpires throw their hands in the air, so it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hey, now, Dan, this is my first chance to talk to you on the air here.
Sure.
About the recent anonymous gift of $15 million. Mitch Canham was a guest on our pregame show earlier on this YouTube Game of the Week broadcast and talked about the importance of the partnership between Oregon State and you and the Knights, and how long it's been going on since you and Coach Casey and others helped to create it back in at the end of the 2006 season. The pitch hit foul off third. What are your thoughts about what's coming and what this is going to mean to both Oregon State and to the Knights in the days ahead?
Well, I think what it means is a bright future. You know, trying to, you know, meet the demands of the Beaver fan base. Trying to come up with creative ways to generate excitement at the ballpark. You know, I imagine that right field area may have a little look of something you might see in the SEC, you know, getting people, you know, really into the games, more opportunities to go to the games. And obviously, I think, you know, having a clubhouse is a big deal. You know that, you know, if you want to have do these type of things first class. So I'd say bright future. You know, these are the type of things that, you know, vision stuff, legacy stuff to ensure that, you know, Pat Casey's dream, you know, is actualized. How's that?
Well, yours too, though, Dan. I mean, you brought it to Case, and you guys collaborated, and it's been a beautiful thing to see. I'm going to turn you loose, Dan. I just wanted to have you on this WCL Game of the Week. Thanks for coming by, and enjoy the fireworks like we're all going to here in a little bit. Thanks a lot, Dan. Dan Siegel, the Knights CEO, joining me. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It remains as Kozdurka strikes out Molosi Malaafa Alferos. To the bottom of the 8th, 3-0 Knights back in 90 on the WCL Game of the Week. Maverick Russell leading things off for the Corvallis Knights in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Knights leading the Drifters 3-0. Maverick takes low and inside from the right-hander Ezra James. The 1-0 pitch. That's got a Kenny Rogers kind of feel to it too. Dropped in condition. Mickey Newberry, Reuben James, Ezra James. It kind of blends together. 2 balls and no strikes for Ezra, who comes back and delivers a strike. The count 2-1 out of Taft High School in Lincoln City and competing at SWAC, as I'm sure Knight Uretsky imparted. Just signed with the Drifters, making his debut before a full house here in Corvallis. Maverick Russell, a 2-hopper to the shortstop. Molosi Malaafa Alferos fields and throws Maverick out, 1 away in the bottom of the 8th. And Ethan Porter will come to the plate. Ethan is flied to right, flied to center, and had a bunt single. There was a trivia question of some sort on here on this 3rd of July, Independence Day Eve, fireworks coming after the game, having something to do with fireworks and the traditions in our great land. Fireworks were fired and the Declaration of Independence signing celebration, July 4th, 250 years ago. Porter swings and misses, or swings and gets a line drive base hit to left field. quite the antithesis of a swing and a miss. And Ethan, back-to-back base hits. He bunted for a single in the 5th. I'm not sure it smacked if Teddy Lane won down in the World Series in '46 to get a hit, but Ethan has been scuffling a little bit, and so he laid a beautiful bunt down. Now maybe that's going to get him going. Solid single to left with 1 out. Zane Garvey, the batter. The pitch to Zane, a swinging bunt out in front of the mound, fielded by Ezra. Throws to first for the out on the play. Porter to second, 2 down. Ryan Severns, the batter. 3-0 Knights in the bottom of the 8th inning. But fireworks again used at President Washington's inauguration in 1789. In sports, in baseball, the first owner to get a feel for it, Barney Dreyfuss of the Pirates, July 4th, 1909. Now, there were no lights then, but he scheduled a doubleheader kind of later in the afternoon and timed it out perfectly and drew 40,000 with a fireworks show after the game back for Pittsburgh in 1909. And then a fellow by the name of Bill Veeck perfected fireworks in a variety of ways, the late, great Bill Veeck. We're going to have fireworks soon, we hope. The Knights need 3 outs to get there after the bounding ball leads to Ryan Severns being thrown out to end the 8th. We go to the 9th. The Knights 3, the Drifters nothing on the WCL Game of the Week.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
3-0 Knights, top of the 9th inning. Trey Swigert looking for the save and then trying to get the fireworks hastened along. 3,112. Glad to be here to watch good baseball. It's been a good ball game. The Knights haven't exactly busted out per se. It's not been a Chicago Cubs at Wrigley kind of spree, but they have 3 runs and lead at 3-0 in the top of the 9th. Trey looking for the final 3 outs. The first pitch to Jacob Villapando misses outside from Trey. Ball 1, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch, Trey misses again. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Top of the 9th inning, 3-0 Knights. It's a save situation for Trey Swigert, who delivers a 2-0 pitch for a strike. The count 2-1. Trey, looking for his second save, delivers the 2-1 pitch hit foul towards Urchin Alley, and the count 2-2. Trey's only worked 2 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, but he does have a save and looking for a second here now. The fans getting into it, and even more so now. The 2-2 pitch swung out and missed. Strike 3, 1 away. 2 outs away now from a victory to go to 1-0 in the second half of the 2026 West Coast League season, and getting those fireworks rolling, presented by Oregon State Credit Union. Karsten Hansen, the batter. Swigert to the plate. First pitch, fastball for a strike. 0-1 the count. Been a fun night tonight, thanks to all of you for tuning our way and for the great work done by Brendan Brucker, Brian Thomas, Everett Barty, helping to produce and get the West Coast League Game of the Week on the air. Swigert's 1-1 pitch, a bit high and away, ball 2, 2-1. And thanks to Knight Uretsky and Jasmine Williams, to Dan Siegel, Mitch Canham, Arlo Pendleton back on the pregame show. The 2-1 pitch swung on, fouled at the plate, and got a piece of Carter Stewart to the point that Michaela, the team trainer, has been asked to come out along with Brooke Knight, summoned by plate umpire Thomas Glynn. It's actually not Michaela, another member of the rotating crew, coming out to ask a few important questions of Carter Stewart, make sure that he's all right and good to keep going. And apparently Carter has satisfied the inquirers and stays on. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Bill Veeck with the exploding scoreboard at Comiskey, which he debuted in 1960, the year after the Go-Go Sox went to the World Series. An exploding scoreboard whenever the White Sox players would hit home runs, fireworks. And it irritated the opponents to the point that when Mickey Mantle hit a homer at Comiskey for the Yankees, Casey Stengel took sparklers and ran them around in front of the dugout, mocking the exploding scoreboard. The 2-2 pitch to Hansen, swung on and missed, strike 3. 2 down. Trey Swigert, back-to-back strikeouts, and is an out away from the save. Standing between him and his second save this summer, Cooper Mullins, who has struck out twice, popped to left and walked. Swigert to the plate. Cooper fouls one off to the left and out of play. No balls and 1 strike. 3,112 in the ballpark. They've been into it all night long on this July the 3rd. Swigert working quickly, delivers, swung on, foul tipped at the plate, and the count 0-2. An off-speed pitch from Trey. And Trey and the Knights a strike away. Mac the Knight leading the cheers as some of the fans on their feet, a la Beaver games in the spring. The strike 2, fastball, swung on and missed, strike 3. A brilliant performance by Trey Swigert, striking out the side to record his second save and get this huge sellout crowd, 3,112 on their feet, saluting the Knights and getting excited for the fireworks show, which will shortly ensue on this beautiful night here in Corvallis. It has been a fun night indeed. We want to thank all of you for tuning our way this evening wherever you have watched the West Coast League Game of the Week. The Knights get the second half off to a good start. The Drifters pitched extremely well too. The Knights won it 3-0. A fun night at the ballpark. We hope to see you back here tomorrow when we come back on the air at 6:20 on Independence Day, our nation's 250th birthday. And we hope that you and your family enjoy tonight's fireworks show and have a wonderful holiday celebration of our nation's 250th. And then we'll see a lot of you at the ballpark tomorrow night. That's going to do it for us here tonight. For Everett Barty, for Brian Thomas, for Brendan Brucker, Knight Uretsky, Jasmine Williams, Dan Siegel, Arlo Pendleton, and Mitch Canham. This is Mike Parker thanking you for joining us. Again, the Knights off to a good start in the second half. They defeat the Springfield Drifters to go to 1-0 with a fresh slate. We'll be back again tomorrow at 6:20. Again, our final score, the Knights 3, the Drifters 0. See you tomorrow night on Happy Independence Day at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. This has been the West Coast League Game of the Week. So long, everybody.